6, we be in the mix with that rare candy paint job on the whip. I need food for the kids, money for the rent. Fuck a lockdown, baby, I can't do that shit. And I don't never vote, cause I'm fucking broke. And either way, I know the police ain't gon' leave me alone. On a plane by to visit Glen Rock, need crypto, told me I should bring the Glock with me. So I packed up my piece and I'm sliding. Cause we might get caught up in a riot. Middle finger Trump, middle finger Biden. Fuck a left, fuck a right, is you riding? Know you love to see it, dudes rocking. Ain't no politics, baby, we just talking. From the birds to the bricks, we be in the mix with that rare candy paint job on the whip. Who you with?
Welcome back to the Gain of Fiction Lab. Today talking about a little bit of a classic. Not everyone agrees that it's a classic, but in terms of time that has gone by, it is a classic in that sense that people are still reading it in this day. We're talking about Wuthering Heights by Emily Brontë. Brontë. I think it's Brontë.
I say Brontë.
Yeah. I what's weird because it has an umlaut, right? Isn't that like it has you think it's going to be a name that has a cool little, little dash
little
on
stank
top,
on the
like exactly. You think it's going to be that, but she adds funk, little like cheese to it at the end of it.
Cheese,
so I'm saying Brontë. I did the thing where you type it in on Google and like the animated woman says it. Yeah, it says Brontë. So I was like, okay, I guess I have to trust that. Can't ask Emily herself. But we're talking about this book. It's obviously a very prescient book right now. There is a movie that I made it 40 minutes without. I wasted money. Watched this new movie. I walked out 40 minutes in the Wuthering Heights movie with Margot Robbie.
The new one, yeah.
Jacob. I thought it was awful. I was like,
unwatchable.
I left. I couldn't. I was with my wife, and it's really funny, right? Like I'm at where it's all women there. There were women bringing blankets into the theater, which I thought was very strange. What are you doing under the blanket? Not my business, but just why? Yeah. Yeah. I just thought that was odd. And then, but I was the only
guy.
Thing
it was dark in the theater.
Solo woman with a blanket. Like, I was just like, all right, that kind of movie, too. I guess. I like, they thought yeah. What if I do that? Then I'm Pee Wee Herman all of a sudden. Yeah. So we go there and there's 15 women in one of those giant theaters, like gigantic Cinemark theaters. And I'm the only guy. And you could tell everybody thought that looked at us kind of registered that my wife dragged me to the theater when it was quite the opposite. I was just finishing the book. She's never read it. She was more than willing to go see the movie with me because she loves that that like kind of period piece yearning kind of film, of course. But it was quite funny. We were stereotyped is what I'm trying to say, and profiled. I as soon as the first scene, there's this like piped in sexuality to it that's like so it doesn't work at all, like none of it. And it's not smut. Everybody is wrong in saying it's smut. It's very of the time, like Zoomer girl smut that's like not real. Like it's basically Jacob Elordi's like, Kathy put eggs in my bed. She put eggs in my bed as a prank, and I laid on it with my Frankenstein body. And then he picks up the eggs, and there's this viscous fluid in his fingers, which
it's like a forced sexuality or sensuality.
Right? Yeah, it's just not. Whereas, it doesn't work. Like none of it. Where it's really eye roll sexuality. Where Emerald Fennell is like never shied from that in Saltburn. Like she doesn't side, but that's two men, so you can all bets are off when it's two men. When it's like this yearning Heathcliff and Kathy thing, it's just okay. Jacob Elordi's big man hands have egg drippings in them. Oh, it's supposed to look like a fluid on his fingers. Whoa, dude. The slaves are all having sex in it. The servants, they're all having sex. They are. Did you see it?
Yeah. I just watched it.
I was gonna say you sound like you're predicting it all. I was like, that's crazy. No. I was like, is that predictable?
It was the same situation. I dragged my wife out to it. It was funny? Just her, me, and then a bunch of like they all kind of look like teenagers, but yeah. All in their pajamas and stuff. It was weird. I was like, what is this audience? Like the demographics. But I was tempted to walk out, but I stayed till the end.
Yeah. I just knew from the minute I was like, No. Like, as soon as it started, it starts with a guy being hung that makes it sound like he's jerking off or like going to be having sex or something like that. And then he has an erection. Okay. It's just, it all felt very fake, very just really weird. I mean, Margot Robbie's 35 years old. It does it, and she very much is like 35, talking like, but she's like a STEM girl in it. Like, she's like so super smart and stuff, and it's really important that she's really smart and is, you know, her dad. I just want to get my thoughts out of the movie, this horrible movie, so I'm not calling back to it all the time. The dad is this is a composite character with Henley Earnshaw, which that doesn't work for me either, because the dad's nice and it gives Kathy this reason. Daddy gambled all the money away, so I have to marry Edgar Linton. No, that makes Kathy to be this like saint trying to save her family, which that doesn't work. Like, the point of the book is that these people aren't like good. Like, they're not
victims. You're not supposed to like.
Exactly.
Yeah, I guess that was like the one good thing about the movie for me, was it did help me appreciate the book more, actually.
Right.
Like the way the characters are set up and the writing and everything. I was like, oh, like the way Emily sets up these characters and how their motivations and stuff make it more, it's less one-dimensional like in the movie, where it's just a simple, they're victims of their father and their and the relation between sex and power. I guess it's all pretty one-dimensional. It felt like, I don't know,
and it's sold. I think I'm
just getting old too.
Yeah, it's sold to you as this, you won't believe what they did with Wuthering Heights. You won't believe it. And it's like, unfortunately, I believe it all. Like, and like, there is room. Like, here's the thing. Like, there is room to make a smut Wuthering Heights. Like, you can do it. It's not like that's the violation of it, because you can take Wuthering Heights and make it into like kind of torture-y weird stuff. Because Heathcliff is torturing people in it. Emily Brontë is not exactly going through the line by line what's happening to these people, but they're chained into their house, especially towards the end. He's a psycho, and you can turn that into like weird BDSM gag ball. But now this feels like it was like Portland burlesque instructor, like on Groupon kind of shit, made this movie. Like, I'm good. I saw Anna Kachian, Jack Mason, friends of the show, talk about it, and they were very critical as well. And I remember thinking, like, okay, maybe I'm sure they're right about it, but maybe I'll find something enjoyable in the movie. And I think I hated it more than they did. Like, I think I ended up going like, no, actually, I think you were too kind. Like, this is just unwatchable. And Jack said it should end, like, back in the day, this would have ended careers like Jacob Elordi and like Margot Robbie. Like, they would have had to go like 6-7 years without like anything good happening. That won't be the case, because that's just not the way the industry works now. They're like the only two actors that exist right now, so you can't do that. And but like, it is that much of a violation to me.
It was weird watching it too, because it felt like a TV show movie, like a TV movie a little bit. The structure, even the dialogue, like the way it was written, it's like meant for commercial breaks. Like, they have to keep reminding you of each character's motivation a little bit, and like they always have to remind you that they love each other. And it's never done figuratively. It's always little, anyways, just like little things.
It's like end scene. Like there would be a line where it would be like, "And I'll never forget you." End scene. And you're like, all right, like, okay, I got you.
All right, put on the Bronco ad.
like I got you. Because it was funny to me. There was a mix of Zoomer girl, you know, like, because it's an Instagram movie, is what it is. It's an Instagram movie. That's how they promoted it. Like, it's funny. I read the book, but my wife on Instagram saw all the promo for it. She's like, I can't get this out of my feed. And I'm like, you didn't even read the damn book. She's like, I know, but
what'd she think of it?
Hated it. Yeah, just hated it. And like, no, and she knows the story, because we watched the Laurence Olivier movie, which is really good. It just is the first half of the book. It's good. It's good acting performances. It's just a well done Hollywood studio movie, 1939. They do a good job of like maybe not making Heathcliff rotten from the beginning, because in a movie you kind of have to deceive somebody at some point of like what they are a little bit. And whereas in the book, Emily Brontë is not really deceiving anybody. It's actually, how far is this going to go? How far, like, are they ever going to, the deception is, are they ever going to rebound out of that? But in a movie, a big budget, or, you know, I should say studio movie from 1939, you're going to want to build up those characters. And what I think a good adaptation of Wuthering Heights is, why don't you just, instead of adapting the book, just adapt that movie and make it more smutty. Like that's what I would do, like, personally. Like, you don't, because now everything needs to be this art movie now. Like, because Criterion Closet's like ruined everything. Like, everything is we've gotten rid of the like serviceable 90-minute. I talk about it here all the time. The 90-minute thriller, 100-minute thriller, just fun time at the movies. Yeah. It doesn't need to win awards. It doesn't need. Every movie needs to be either just absolute Marvel slop. Because I did see a preview for Supergirl. Which I was like, this is a fucking joke. I was like, but I was just thinking, these are the two movies that exist right now. It's Supergirl and Wuthering Heights, and they both aren't good. Like, that's the problem.
I think you're accurate about that. Like, especially I remember seeing I had the same Supergirl ad, and dude, it had the exact same like the millennial needle drop music in the ad and everything. God. I was like, holy smokes, these guys are like,
call me on the line,
like,
call me.
Feels like you're watching the same movie. I was like, what is this? Guardians of the Galaxy? Like, it could be whatever because it's all.
Dude, is that girl gonna beat up all those guys to Blondie's Call Me?
She could be a role model for my daughter.
I'm seated. Oh yeah, there's a dog too. That's hella cool. Yeah. Wow. And she's gross. This is awesome.
A movie with no nuance? Sign me up, please.
Yeah, this is the
last thing I want when I finish a long day at work is to think about life.
Yeah, I know, dude. I'm just like, where, like I said, I talked about this on the last episode of RC, but like the Matt Damon, Ben Affleck movie on Netflix is fantastic, and it's just a heist movie. It's just a heist movie where they steal and actually it's this guy's fault. You thought it was that guy's. I was like, I miss this so much. Just like, it's not trying to be anything. They did not make that movie to win awards. They did not make that movie to be talked about on in the Criterion Closet 10 years from now. They didn't do that. Like, they made the movie because they're like, yeah, wouldn't it be cool if like we entertained people for an hour and 40 minutes and it was edited and we actually took parts out of the movie that don't work instead of, like, I will say the one thing about Wuthering Heights that I thought I was going to like really roll my eyes at is the score. I actually thought the music was kind of worked. I thought it was fine. Like, because it's Charlie XCX, and on paper, I thought it was going to be like, oh no, is she going to do like hyper pop, and it's going to be ironic, like that we're doing like hyper pop, but it was like strings and kind of epic, and I was like, okay, that actually is not what I hate about the movie. I would say
I felt I'm not I used to be a Charlie XCX fan. Like, I liked her early stuff, but like the Brat album, I wasn't a huge fan of. I kind of like, I think that kind of ruined her career for me. Personally, like what happened to the album and the whole like political ties with it, but I thought it was interesting. I said this to my wife after the movie, but there are certain shots and like the way it's filmed, this movie, and the lack of subtlety, a little bit, the lack of visual subtlety, like you can tell there's like something being implied, and then if that's not enough, the script has to tell you. Or the dad's a drunk, and then there's a shot where the bottle's stacked to the ceiling. I'm like, yeah, we already know he's drunk and he dies. But like, anyways, I was like, oh, this is like a new form of cinema. It's like hyper cinema.
Yes,
like, and that's why Charlie XCX is doing the soundtrack for it. There's like a weird connection, I think, of I don't know. Yeah, I was like, is this going to be like some kind of new way of filmmaking? If so, it's not a great start. I don't know. And
there needs to be some legit, because like the opposition to it is they made it gross. That's not that. That is what I don't like the term controlled opposition. That is controlled opposition, because you've then like validated the movie by saying it's gross. It's not gross. It's boring. It's, and you're putting yourself into think like it's sallow. People think it's sallow. It's not. Like it's just like it's Jacob Elordi. Like, and look, like Jacob Elordi, I will say. One thing I like him. Like, for the most part, I like him. I didn't think he was very good in this movie at all. I thought he was like pretty bad as Heathcliff. And also, like, to me, if you play Frankenstein, I think that might be a killer. Like for your career a lot. Like, if you play Frankenstein, like, you don't, your next role is usually bad. I feel like, because Peter Boyle's not like Peter Boyle did Young Frankenstein. That's like a comedy, and of course I love that movie, but it's just it's just like. That's like not the same, but like I just wonder if you play like, and I know he plays the monster. I understand Redditors like he plays the monster, not Frankenstein. But it's this like, if you play the monster, I was just like, damn, man, like, is your next? I just saw a big ass like Frankenhead dude on the screen the whole time, like, and he's just like, Yeah, and it's like weird to me because it's like female gooner material. This movie was supposed to be that. And Anna Kachian called it like Hitachi wand girl core, which it's so true. Like it's like kind of girls who get into like the power tools level of this stuff, like where they've numbed the senses with the power tools kind of thing. You're just like there just doesn't seem to be any like there's that scene when Catherine is watching the servants have BDSM equestrian equipment sex with Joseph, who's like 26, who's like 25 in the movie.
The craziest rewrite in history.
Yeah, that I just whatever. And when he's watching that, like, and then all of a sudden, like, she's like obviously like intrigued and turned on by that. But Jacob Elordi's hands covering her eyes, that's even more sexual. Yeah. It's just I don't mind. Like, here's my thing. Like, you watch like Roadhouse from the 80s. That's like real like fun time at the movies, but girls are all like, you know, getting their thrills. Like, and Roadhouse is not like some movie that's like needs new critical acclaim. Like, no, it's trash. I mean, it's not trash. I actually enjoy it, but it's just like it's trash, meaning like it was meant to be a fun movie for the summer, and then the next year we have a new movie for the summer. We don't need to keep revisiting it. It was just we have that, and it's just like it's Swayze like punching shit and fighting, and then being sensitive every once in a while, and then punching shit, fighting, and like sex scenes and stuff, and you're just like this. Now we do like STEM girl eroticism now, not just like girl like fun, you know, like, cause I even remember rolling my eyes when Magic Mike came out. But I kind of yearn for the time where women were just like, yeah, that's my perversion. Like, and not just like Barry Lyndon art movie perversion. Like, get out of here. I'm done with that. Like, we're just this should end that subgenre. This should end that trend, but it's not going to, sadly.
No. Well, I wonder what it's gonna do. Like, that's an interesting point. Like, you're making me think. Like, the Roadhouse example you give is like, oh yeah, that's the duality of man. He's like sensitive, but he also has to go beat someone's ass. And not in the good way.
Sometimes he makes a mistake too. Like, sometimes he like punches the wrong guy.
But then it's like what is this like movies like this Wuthering Heights? Like, there is kind of no duality, or it's turned into a monality or whatever. Like Elordi's like, oh, he's mean and rough because he's sensitive. Like, it's interesting. There's no
and they really beat down like they really, which, you know, and this I don't think I have much more to say about this movie, but like they really do the like, he never had a chance, man. He just never had a chance. But like what Emily Brontë does is goes, nah, he had plenty of chances. Yeah, he got saved from like wherever the hell he's from. Exactly. Like this, it's just this whole, they leave these characters, these outs. And I'll get to why Wuthering Heights the book works versus the movie, like and because there's a huge stark difference, and I don't even think people are honest about why the book works, because when I was in there, I saw like I said, the Zoomer girls that were in there who, you know, again, Instagram movie, of course they're gonna go see it, Jacob Elordi. But also there was the English teacher woman, like kind of like 50-year-old English teacher woman there, and they were just this the whole time. Just, I don't like it. And I was like, you know what, I'm with you. I'm a 50-year-old English teacher woman. I think they were the audience that thinks it's smut and don't do that. Gross, you know, like but I was still the same way. I'm like, I think I'm more like you than the Zoomer girl for sure. I am closer to them in age, so that's probably the truth. But it's just, or I guess I'm right in between, but it's just kind of funny. But I've done a poor job so far because I haven't introduced you as a guest. So your name is Ben. We don't need to expand on Ben anything, but you have we've interacted and we've talked for a while, and you jumped at this. But you know, tell us what you want us to know about you. Tell the RC audience.
Oh boy. Not much, man. I live in Canada.
Fuck! You should have told me that. No, yeah, damn it.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Damn it.
White North.
Yeah.
I was a humanities student for a long time, which is like philosophy, English, history.
Gotcha.
And then I dropped out because I ran out of money, and then kind of started trying to like do the whole self-help, like kind of rebuild your life a little bit, get off the partying and all that stuff. And And then that's how like I ended up finding RC through that too. And that was like really cool too, really helpful.
What was your COVID like? Was it during COVID? Like, was it? I mean, again,
this is the start of it.
But I feel like everybody in Canada and Australia found us in that time period, like because it was just, I mean, what we went through was bad, but like those two countries, it's not even close.
Yeah, I think because like I don't know too much about Australia, but like it is part of the Commonwealth, like Canada is as well for Great Britain. So we do tend to have a shared like national mentality a little bit. Like I think COVID, things like that were funny where you didn't realize how brainwashed you were a little bit. Or it took something like COVID for all of us to kind of realize what was happening.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, for me, like it was pretty boring. I kept my job because I was like worked on a dairy farm, so the cows still had to get milked either way, and it was kind of sweet. I was like working with all these like boomers who, like, they all knew what COVID was because cows get it all the time, like coronavirus.
Right.
But and like there was one guy, the herdsman, who was so technical about it. He's like, no, this is COVID-19. See, there's all these different variations. We get them all the time. I'm like, yeah,
wow.
Okay.
On a
He's
farm?
explaining it to all of us, yeah.
Oh,
but
no.
But he still got like the vaccines and the boosters and everything. It was so funny. But it was cool. It was cool just sitting there with a bunch of these guys, and because they would still like question everything. They were all like didn't know what was true, what wasn't. But yeah, like I just kind of, because there's like nothing to do, and like I lived in like this small town with the farming town. There was like all my buddies were in different cities and stuff, so we couldn't hang out anymore and all that crap. Yeah, so I just like started smoking weed and stuff, and drinking a lot too on the weekend. Like me and a bunch, like after COVID, a lot of friends, like it was like a good sobering moment. We all realized how just down the rabbit hole we kind of fell.
It's perpetual sleepover mode, dude. Like it was perpetual sleepover mode. It's like when you're a kid and you're just like, I can eat fucking candy all the time and like, pizza for dinner all the time. And to be fair, a lot of people did just that. Like they ate candy and pizza for dinner during COVID. Like that's not even a metaphor. Like people were just, people put on weight. I mean, seeing people's like shirts busting open, like when you hadn't seen them in a few months and like they didn't get new clothes. And like, you're like, damn, man. Like, and I'm not even saying like you can't put on weight, you can't do it, but you're just like, oh, I don't think you picked up very good habits, which, I doing the show kind of kept me honest, at least about like my lifestyle, like where I was just like, wait, I can't, if I think the world's falling apart right now, I'm not gonna go with it. Like I'm just not going to, and if it does happen, like that's like that's not good. Like, what does the show even mean at that point? Like it kept me accountable. And Si's like Si's Mr. Health guy too. So it's like he always keeps me accountable. He doesn't do it. I just talk to him for 10 minutes and I go, oh, I gotta cut that out, So it's just this kind of, it was nice to hear people, even if they came from like, dude, I was an alcoholic, I had all this. Like if you're still here right now, like a lot of times I feel like you bounced back for the most part.
Yeah. I don't want to make it sound like I was like on AA or anything, but it was good.
But you noticed it was just, this is not sustainable what I'm doing.
Yeah. And I think like for me personally, what was interesting about like a podcast like Rare Candy and Safety Propaganda as well. Yeah. Adam Lair's
yes, absolutely.
He kind of had like it was like, this is not, like it was the argument of like what you believe about the world and how it should also be reflected in your life. Like you kind of have to practice what you preach.
Yes.
And I've always kind of believed that. And I think I just needed to like find the motivation or whatever personally, like how to do that in my own life a little bit.
Yeah, skin in the game. I mean, skin in the game is a big aspect of it. Like whether you're, like people, if you were on the left for a long time, like a lot of times you were getting people who had millions of dollars were telling you about how like their own parents should be liquidated, but like not really. And you're just like, wait. Like, I don't think you believe that, but you are saying I'm evil if I don't. So to me, I'm like, if I'm going to tell you something, like, I'm not saying I'll be perfect at following it, but I want you to believe that I believe I should follow that, like there has to be some sort of genuine aspect to it. Like, or else I think it falls flat. And as I get older, my bullshit detector is like the most sensitive thing of all time. Like it's just like I can't do it. Sometimes people just start talking. I'm like, my wife is a saint. She can like listen to someone bullshit. Like she'll register. It's not she can't register, but she just knows how to play the game really well. And like me, I'm just like I my eyes get big. Like I can't even fake it. Like it's so bad because I'm like, why are you lying to me right now? Stop lying to me. Like just there's no reason to do it. And it's unfortunately it's people on my own side that do it too. It's not even just that, but I've noticed it a lot from being on the left and stuff.
And I studied like my kind of education, if you want to call it, was in philosophy, moral philosophy especially. So there was a lot of like the kind of conversations I would strike up and stuff with people tend to veer on that, and like I like asking people complex questions, but like subtly. And so you ask someone, oh, why'd you move from your home at such a young age? And you get into questions, and then you start like, what is it about your dad that you don't like? And then, and you start like you're getting the person to figure themselves out a little bit, but they don't. Sometimes they like it, sometimes they don't,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's a fine line. No, I'm with you too.
I'm not trying to be an ass about it. I was just,
I think that's why Rogan's
because like otherwise I'm like, what else are we going to talk about? The new Wuthering Heights? Like I'm like, let's get something interesting. Like
that's the thing. Yeah, I mean, Tiger King. Did you see Tiger King? Like it was just. I mean, that was the thing. Like it was the Michael Jordan and Tiger King. Those were the two things that were on TV the whole time, and it was just kind of this. If you were alone during that time, it was just really tough. If you had somebody else who was at least in the same line of thinking, I think that was kind of really necessary. And I'm glad that there's been a lot of more people that don't value their kind of like isolation like anymore. I feel like a lot more people want to go. I know it's part of getting older too, but a lot more people want to get married, have children and things like that. I'm just like, because I think people saw what it was like when you had to kind of run out into the pool and just see what was out there. The general, just run out to the general consensus and just see. And it's just like, oh, it's actually nice to have something inside four walls of your house to kind of actually like create and actually have it be sustainable and know that like you're not just lying to each other all the time.
Yeah, I'd like sense of standard too, like personal standards, things like that. I think what connects us to the book is we might get into this later, but like the manipulation, how that works a little bit, and how people choose to believe what they want. I'm speaking really vaguely here, but because I don't know, like we get into specifics too, but that's the one thing I liked about Wuthering Heights a little bit was this how people get deceived because it's something they want. They're willing to believe.
And then also like it's the time place it takes place in makes it be like, okay, I know the truth, but me knowing the truth, this Victorian etiquette thing, like you have to just look the truth in the eye and call it like, okay, whatever, doesn't matter. Like there was that it's very much of the time, but you still see people doing that now with rules that like aren't even real. Like the king's not enforcing these. Like these are just rules that like you have for yourself because you think it makes you a good person. People are Victorian now in a different sense, but it's funny. It's funny to see people, but they like. Because Wuthering Heights, what's interesting about it is like it is its own world. Like I love the isolation of it. There's no mention of the queen. There's no mention of like the royal family or any of this stuff that's happening. You kind of like it kind of feels like it's taking place at like this complete other parallel universe where yes, it is very much of the time. It's a Victorian novel. It is that, but you're just kind of like these people are still like buying into like these rules that are killing them. A lot of times, and they're kind of like using themselves as martyr. They're kind of just like doing that not faux martyrdom. It is real martyrdom, but it just doesn't really work for me as like that wouldn't be a just cause for me personally.
It's like that's the kind of shit I like though. Like reading about and studying is even like societally the customs and the rules of a land or a people group, and then how certain individuals will learn to use those customs and rules to their own advantage a little bit, as we see in this book as well. Like, like in Wuthering Heights, the inheritance law, the good manners, all this stuff like is so important in English aristocratic society,
right?
And yet Heathcliff, who's this peasant, lower class, ends up manipulating it. Like there's a way to read this that is very leftist Marxist, where it's like, oh yeah, it's about the this proletariat person ceding to power, using the capitalist system against itself, kind of thing.
You can read it that way. You can. I don't think it's very fun. I don't think it's very fun if you do. Yeah,
that was the extent of my secondary.
I got you. No. I bet people do. I bet people do. I bet if I went on Goodreads right now, I would find like 7 or 8 of those people saying exactly that.
I can honestly guarantee you that's probably like your standard college education right there.
Like it's taught. I bet it's taught like that. Yeah, right.
I've been paid $5,000.
Yeah. Don't you regret running out of money in college, Ben? Yeah, don't you? You really could have got to the the Marxist Leninist reading of Wuthering Heights. That would have been sick. But awesome. What I will say, so I talked about it earlier. I personally loved this book. I thought I just loved it, but I loved it knowing that this reminded me of like Gillian Flynn Victorian novel, like a Gone Girl, like a Sharp Objects too. Okay. She did Sharp Objects. So it's just like one of those, just like, you know what? I'm not here to teach you a lot. I'm here to just like, let me show you these people and I'm going to see how much you can take. And the problem with a lot of the readers of this is, for one, anything that's Victorian has to be like viewed as like this. It was made during this time where thinkers were there. And I'm not saying, I think Emily Brontë wrote a wonderful book. I think she got a lot done in 400 pages that would take a lot of people 700, to be quite honest. Yeah. And it would have been a slog at that point. But I think there's this kind of like thriller quality to it, this kind of like action thriller aspect to Wuthering Heights that I wasn't quite thinking was ever going to be the case, because the reason I'm actually reading this book, it was not going to be on the Gain of Fiction list. This is before the movie and everything was, and listeners will remember from the episode with that, was Clifford Lee Sargent from Better Than Food, his channel, which is fantastic. He's fantastic. I recommended him a book and he read it. I was like, what was the one that surprised you? You know, what was the one that was like, I think it's this, but it's actually this, and in the best way possible. I recommended him Island of Dr. Moreau, where people think like H.G. Wells, it's 100 years old. Like, how could it be that good? And it's wonderful. He read that. He did a review on his Patreon and it was like, yeah, you're right. And he told me Wuthering Heights. I was like, interesting, because I had cast Wuthering Heights off as Jane Austen. I had cast it off as like etiquette torture, like no, everyone's scared to, which it kind of is, just but
women it's writing letters to each other.
Yeah, just kind of like mother saw the drapes and fainted, like you know, just these, just you know, we were supposed to sail for a month to the Norway, but mother saw the drapes, and and it's supposed to be funny, and I know it is funny, and I don't think Jane Austen's a bad writer. It's nails on a chalkboard for me personally. Just everybody's got that one well-respected, objectively good writer they can't read. She's one of them for me. So I had cast it off into this, and he had said, hey man, this is like dark, like mean stuff, and I was like, it's like okay. And he goes, and it's a torturous love story, which to me I don't even think it's a torturous love story. I actually don't. I actually think the love part of it doesn't work.
It's like a big selling point of the book, I feel like. Right. It's a romance, but I don't see it as that either. Or I think that's unhelpful. I think that.
There you go. That's the word, because it is, but it's like that. But I will say that, you know, this is gonna sound very misogynist. I would hate to sound like that on here, but it would just, there's like the object. We'll talk about, you know, plot points and all this stuff here, but like, this is a book about a man who, it's a very materialist reading of death, right? Is like a big problem of it is her body's in the ground, my body needs to be there. Like there's no spiritual aspect. There's all this, I want you to haunt me, but they kind of don't believe that that's going to happen, you know, like that, like Kathy's actually going to do that, despite the first scene being Kathy's voice. We kind of hear Kathy's voice outside the window and all that stuff. That kind of feels like willing it, speaking it into existence. There's this very materialist view of it, and Heathcliff is trapped in that materialist narcissist like kind of look, and he is a narcissist. I know that word's overused. I picked up this book kind of trying to be contrarian about it. I was like, ooh, I bet I'm gonna like Heathcliff. No, I don't. And it just, he's bad. And so like I thought I was gonna do that, but you have like, the thing about this is like, okay, there's a lot of women that like the hottest thing in the world would be for like them to die and like you to just never ever like get over it and like not be able to turn the stove on like or like anything like that. They just like they want to be like, I want him thinking about my dead body in the ground the whole time. I want his love to grow even stronger than if I was alive. Like that is a deep little like I don't think all women are like that, but there's a certain type of like kind of like woman with a lot of failed relationships that really attaches to that thing. So that's where the romance thing comes from. I'm happily married. You're happily married?
Yeah.
So it's oh, congratulations. But like, so what I mean is like we're not thinking about that kind of stuff right now.
No,
so it's like we're not, but there is like that kind of like 33-year-old like Tinder app girl who's like never just it's never found the right guy because he doesn't want me enough, and like they want the chaos. They think arguing is love. They think like that woman really likes the romance of this book.
That's funny you bring that up because it kind of connects. I was talking to my wife the other day. A coworker was asking me about me and my wife, and she was like, how did you know she was the one? And I didn't know how to answer that question. And so I kind of gave like a bullshit answer. I was like, oh, one time we had this really big argument and it felt like the relationship was breaking up, and there was like this like that was like the moment I was like, oh, I don't want this to happen. Like that's the worst possible outcome, right? So I have to like fix it. I got to do the thing that make things better. But she was like unsatisfied with that. She's like, that doesn't sounds kind of like you're just saying like, oh, I'd rather be with someone than not. Like, I'm like, yeah, fair. I was like, yeah, that's fair. And it like bugged me for like a week later. And I was still thinking of that question. But then I was like, I think the question itself was unfair. Like, I'm like, who's to say? I'm like, how do you know there is such a thing as the one? Like, she could die or I could die and we both just find a new partner. Like,
it's true.
Why is that automatically out of the question? Like, let's not rule, and I think it's books like this conception of what romance is. I think the concept that you just explained is the reason why I think a lot of people do seem love that way and like interpret marriage in that sense as well. I call it like the Disney, like it's like a Disney version of what love is, kind of, or
even Bravo, like it's like Real Housewives to me, like just kind of like get out, don't come back, just that's like I hate that shit. Do
people actually think that's like relating with someone?
I dated a girl in high school who she used to just like no matter what I would do, like no matter what, I would say like the sky is blue and she's like it's yellow. Like just that type of thing. Like just, and I'd be like, do you what are you doing? Like, and she goes, maybe I like when you treat me like shit. And I was like, it's done.
Okay.
I will. Like, I'm just saying, like, I will win this battle. Like, and by winning, I'll lose. By the way, so it was just kind of like this. There is that type of woman that exists, and it's more common than you think. And in the same way that there's like the jealous man that exists, that really, and that woman likes the jealous man. Like they're there's like some women that get fired up when men get jealous, right? And I think, and I mean like hypersensitive jealous, like just kind of like, I don't like that guy sitting right next to you at the bar that we are sitting at. Just kind of like this real like insecure jealousy. There's like a lot of women that think if he's not doing that, he doesn't love me. And there's and that's this like that's kind of the, in my opinion, anyone who craves Wuthering Heights, they go, wow, somebody finally like beautifully made this. Like to them, I think it's a happy ending. I think they think this is like a happy ending of Wuthering Heights.
Yeah.
I think it's a good ending. I don't think it's a happy ending. Like, and I think people value that a lot. I've never been into chaos. I like a constant, not a chaos.
Well, I mean, maybe sorry to cut you off there.
No, I was. Yeah.
I think to us it seems chaotic, but I think to the individual who believes this stuff, it is genuine. The happiness, fulfillment, the true love. Like that's that concept of true love, right, revealing itself. Where, call me a cynic, but I don't think there is such a thing.
Yeah.
And Wuthering Heights, let's like, I don't know, like, I mean, we can get into it, but I feel like Wuthering Heights, it's doing that thing that famous things in history do, where they're the first ones to do it, and they kind of end up becoming self-fulfilling prophecy. Like, I don't think Wuthering Heights is saying that's what true love looks like, but because it's love is presented in the way the book presents it, it creates then this like hope or an image for all of us to like follow after, so to speak. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure. And like
a little bit.
Emily Brontë comes from a sisters that write, right? You have Charlotte who writes Jane Eyre, and from what I gather, and I'm not gonna sit here and say I know everything about her and stuff, but from what I gather, her other sisters were kind of the social people, social playing the game kind of thing, and Emily was just like, I mean, there's these rumors that Emily had autism, but I'm like, oh, okay, sure. Like that sounds like something in Jezebel 2014 article.
Yeah,
I'm sure that's where yeah. Oh, why? Because she worked hard and wrote a book. Yeah, no, it does sound like she was kind of a little bit of a just kind of hermit, kind of just sickly hermit. And then the story of like, there's that part in the book where Hindley's just walking around the house with a gun like all the time and like saying my door needs to be locked, or leave your door, if you leave that door unlocked I will kill him, like just kind of like that aspect. Their dad was like that. The Brontë dad would just walk around the house with a gun, like just
That's
like
crazy.
wild.
Interesting.
So like there's a lot of that. I mean, that might just be like you said, that might just be life to some people. And I mean, at the end of the day, you think you're lucky stars. It's not. Now, what I will say about this book, and everybody's lying to themselves about it, because this is depicted in people's TV choices, reality TV, Real Housewives, all of this stuff. People love chaos. People love chaos. People love watching somebody that is not as equipped in life as they are to deal with things. They love watching that happen. They love watching them spiral. They're nosy. They like knowing it. They like when people lose something in life. Like a lot of people like that. And I think Wuthering Heights, there's a lot of people that will read this book that think they're not indicted in any of this. No, you loved it. Like, I just mean like you, the reader, are very much a part of this. And this is kind of a little secret between you and Emily Brontë, that you like the destruction of all of this.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. Like, that's a really good point. I mean, I just started watching The Osbournes because it's on Amazon Prime right now.
Classic, dude.
Yeah, it's so funny.
I've been rewatching like clips on YouTube. Ozzy is just
that era of like reality television is amazing. These people in like the 16s, like the roofs, the ceilings like 16 feet high, and they're just like yelling from the dining room all the way to like the living room. At the
Ozzy's just eating everything.
Like Jersey Shore. Yeah. Ozzy just sits there and like complains about the dogs.
Yeah, and the best part of that show, and I know you have a bigger point than what I'm about to say, but like there's the Ozzy's like, I can't sleep at night anymore. And he has this like sleep specialist come in, and they show Ozzy. It's great editing. I mean, the reality TV is all editing, but it's just like it's great editing because Ozzy's drinking like literally the size of like a teacup ride at Disneyland size cup of like coffee every day. And he's like, I'm only having 1 cup of coffee, mate, a day. And they're like, and 9 burritos, and he has like acid reflux, and he's like dying. And and this guy died like last year.
I know,
like he's like has all these health problems, dude. He had like
he's like limping. If you see him in the background, sometimes he's like limping everywhere. I'm like, wow, he was such an old man back then. Like,
everybody thought he was gonna die like during that show, and then he like and thank God for Sharon. Sharon kept him alive for all those years. He would have died in like 1980 if it wasn't for Sharon Osbourne. But I fucking love that show. It's on YouTube. They'll just be like Ozzy's food moments, and I'll just sit there. And I watched this all live. I watched every episode live when it came out. Awesome. Like I loved the Osbournes, but anyways, you were Sith, please.
Like it's funny you say that because I think I do like to think I'm above all that kind of stuff, but here I am now watching the Osbournes, watching people fight and argue, and then there's that part of your brain that wants to like be like, look at these fools acting foolish, and I know better than them, that's why it's funny to me or whatever, but I'm like, okay, that's pride talking, like I gotta be. And I think I got the same sense reading Wuthering Heights a little bit. Like there's this moral degeneracy a little bit that I like. It breaks my heart a little bit. Like I'm reading, I'm like, these people are just so evil to each other. I'm like, this is a terrible book. Like I'm not enjoying this.
I know.
I had the thought when the movie was playing, when I was watching the movie, and I was like, so I kept tuning out and tuning back in, and I was like, watching this movie is like having that one coworker who everything about their sex life, but like you just you hate the coworkers, but it's like you hate the fact that you know so much about this person because they just are there telling you everything and can't leave your work. But I'm like, Wuthering Heights, the book. I was like, you know what? The book is the exact same. Like,
it is that aspect of it. Like, that's why when they say it's like smutty and tortury, it's like, no, that is the book. Like, that aspect is not wrong. That's not something they took liberty. Just because they show a gag ball in someone's mouth doesn't mean, oh, in the book they didn't have a gag. Yeah, of course they didn't in the book. Emily Bronte's not allowed to write that in a book back then. Like, that's not the way you told stories back then. Like, it's just this kind of like, and
it's more psychological than
because
physical, I think. Sorry.
Right. And what I love about her writing is like you'll read like a paragraph where like 9 things happen, like a paragraph, and you're just like, this is crazy because this would take the best of the best, and they would be good at it. Sometimes not, but like it would just take page on page on page. Like Dostoevsky, I love Dostoevsky. He could not plot a book like this to save his life. Like, he just wouldn't. It would have to be a really short, like Notes from Underground, like really short thing. Like, he just, I actually really loved her style. And if this was written by like anybody else, I probably would have put it down. Because I think she is the star in a lot of this. And she is just like, she's, from the get-go, like the story's weird. Like, when I first picked up the book, like, let's go to the beginning here. When I first started the book, I like was like, did I get the right book? I was like, is this the right novel? Like, am I reading like a fan fiction right now? Because I felt like somebody was trying to be like, what if we told the story from another person's perspective of Wuthering Heights? Like, and because I was like, oh, I didn't realize that's what this was. That this was Nellie. Like, this was Nellie and Mr. Lockwood kind of like, what's going on over there? And
there's a word for that. I can't remember what that's called, but sorry.
Yeah, very fairy tale, very. Or
someone else tells you the story that you're reading or whatever.
Yes, which but it just seemed that way. Like, it just, I was like, wait, am I like, let me make sure I got the right thing on Kindle. Like, let me just make sure. And I did, like, I went to the quick Wikipedia, like, plots and be like, oh, Mr. Lockwood and Ellie are oh, okay. And then, I think the book gets better as it goes, personally. Like, I was locked in the whole time because I think it's paced and like plotted pretty perfectly, and there's just not a lot of fluff in it, in my opinion. I know some people would disagree with that, but there's just a lot of it just goes. It's gas pedal like the whole way through. It's arguing and fighting in every scene, and it's torturous. But I like the idea that Heathcliff is just some devil that Dad found out in the street, because like that is how they describe him. Like, and even in the 1939 movie,
they're just racist too.
Yeah, they're racist. Which, I mean, that's a big like 2010s Jezebel thing. Is Heathcliff black? No, he's not black.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah, he's not. They wouldn't bring a black guy home to a Victorian fucking estate. Like. And first off, if you're a black person who's like looking for representation, do you want it to be Heathcliff?
Yeah, right.
A bad dad. Like, I'm just saying, like he's like a. Like, he would be like
father.
It would be a it would be like absentee baby mama drama. Like, I just mean like that, like your terms. I mean, like, I'm not the one fighting you over this, but there's a lot of people that go, it's like a person of color guy back then. And I'm like, no, he's from like another country or something, or not another country, but like he's poor, and he has like olive skin,
or like a gypsy, like Ramon,
gypsy, just like he's just like a it's class. It's more of the class thing than it is. They're not going to bring a black kid home. Like, I'm sorry. Like, that's just, I'm someone who largely believes like racism isn't that big of a deal right now. Like, and like, these are people who think it's like at an all-time high. I'm like, but in 1850, they would bring home a black kid randomly and be like, yes, like, this is awesome. Yeah. I just that part makes me, that makes me laugh. But then as I'm reading the book, I always knew that going into the book, that people thought that was kind of like a thing, before, without even reading the book. And then I'm reading, I'm like, why would anyone want it? Like, what on that side? Why would why would you want this guy to be like your, like Michael B. Jordan play in the movie or something? Like, what?
Cliff.
Yeah, dude. Like, why would that happen?
That's crazy.
So, but like, they do. It's funny when you watch like the Laurence Olivier movie with somebody who hasn't read the book, like my wife, and they do feel for Heathcliff at the beginning. Now, in the book, it's not really that, though. Heathcliff's kind of just is himself from the beginning. I mean, there's like Henley is bad though, but like you kind of think like, Henley's just a dick, and he's the Catherine's brother who has a pretty, I mean, he goes through it pretty bad, pretty self-inflicted, but by that time Heathcliff has become this monster. He's a parasite, and there are plenty of hosts to feed on in this, and he's smarter than everybody, and he doesn't have proclivities. The only proclivity, or the only like kind of flaw that he has in terms of like his material standing, is his class position and his yearning for Catherine. Those are the two things. Those are the only two things that hold him back. Otherwise, he's like just has bags of money.
That's a really good point. Yeah. As opposed to Henley, who's like a drunkard and gambler. Like he has these kind of vices that make his social standing more unstable.
Yeah. Henley was probably cool if you like didn't know the family. Like if you were like Henley was like type of guy, like you ever meet that like type of guy, like especially in blue collar industries. You meet a guy who's like, you're like, this guy's fucking awesome, and then like
just after work, he just goes and plays poker with the boys.
Plays poker, gambles, has a joke for everything, is funny, and like it's kind of
uncles like that.
Yeah, but then like you like look at like what their life is like, and you're like, fuck, like I probably should be modeling my life after this guy. Like Henley Earnshaw,
like a Diet Coke every night.
I feel like if you had a couple pints with Henley at the pub, like just not without knowing him, like you'd be like, this guy rules, dude. Like,
going beers for anyone at this decade would have been
like you're like, this guy's awesome. Like, and then you like but then like you hang out with that person more and more, and you're like, oh, I see why you like can't have anybody around anymore. Like, so he goes on his destructive path, but like Catherine and Heathcliff are inseparable, of course. But it's known. I love that Emily Brontë early just tells you like this can't happen. Like this just cannot happen. But it's
how does she show that?
I just think through conversations with like Nelly and stuff, like it's just there's no like it's not allowed to happen. I'm not saying like, well, there's just no way it's gonna happen, but like it's just it's not allowed. Like it's very Romeo and Juliet, like zero chance that this happens, right? Like now Romeo and Juliet are, I'm not super well versed in Shakespeare, but like they kill themselves together and that famously, but like Heathcliff and Catherine are so narcissistic that they got to bring everybody with them. Like everybody's playing in our game. Like that's the reality TV aspect of it, is like everyone, I sit in front of the camera and tell you my thoughts, like kind of this, and you're just here to kind of bounce ideas off of, you're just here. You don't have your own life, and they're servants largely. So like you kind of, even though Nelly is like very sentient and very like her own self, cause she's the narrator, it just doesn't seem like right away. And perhaps there's maybe I already knew a little bit about the book. Like, okay, yeah, there's no way, but they're just never, it just doesn't seem like it's ever, because one, Catherine's never going to actually like grow a pair and be like, let's run off. She's never going to do that. There's no part of her personality. The only time she's going to run off is like, I don't know, like she's going to run off to Edgar Linton's house or something. That's running off. That's running off like
because
a
he's
mile
rich.
away. Because he's rich.
Right?
Like it's still she has this like she has this faux like free spirit, but she's so tethered by her own like kind of situation, and it's completely self-inflicted too. Like you guys could go run off. No one's going to come looking for you.
No,
if you guys ran off, like no one's going to. But I don't know. You just see it right away with Catherine, because Heathcliff would. He would run off.
Yeah, he doesn't give a fuck what everyone thinks.
I mean, they don't even like him. They don't even like him. After the dad dies, everyone hates him. Yeah,
that's true. Life just gets worse for him.
So, did you like in the movie with Edgar Linton's how they introduced them as textile families buying the house and stuff? I actually thought that was an interesting wrinkle. I actually thought that would work in a vacuum, like kind of like, I don't know, Edgar Linton looked stupid to me, so I was like, I feel like he's a better looking guy than that. I was like, I think
they kind of did him dirty. No offense.
I think they did him dirty. No, it was like, what the hell, this guy? I don't know if he's Indian.
I laughed out loud, dude. I was like, of course, like it just felt so like peak 2013 Hollywood.
Dev Patel core. It's like this is like back-to-back Game of Fictions where Dev Patel could have been involved in a retelling of the thing, but David Copperfield as well. I think he literally was in a David Copperfield adaptation, Dev Patel. But it was just kind of I missed it sadly, but it was there. But yeah, like the Edgar Linton thing is just like she does these these like finally I'm gonna, you know what, I don't care what anyone thinks, and then you're like, no, you deeply care what everyone thinks. Like you deeply care. Like you don't have that like ability to do it, and it's exemplified when Edgar Linton proposes to her and she's like, I have to say yes, which maybe of the time, maybe you did have to say yes. Maybe, but at the time you're like, the Earnshaw family isn't really ruined yet at that time. In the movie, they do this. This is why it sucks in the movie, because you're like, well, the dad's broke and gambled everything away. So it just doesn't create really any like drama or anything. So but the family isn't quite ruined yet. I don't think Henley's gambled away everything, or at least we're not told that he has yet. But she just goes, well, obviously I said yes. And then like Nellie, who's you're listening, and she's like, well, you don't have to. You know, she's like, you should, because I don't want you to marry Heathcliff. Like, I don't want this to happen, but like, you don't have to marry this guy. Like, it doesn't have to happen. And then she's like, well, what about Heathcliff or whatever? And she's like, oh, I can't do that. And it just whatever. And come on, me and Heathcliff, it's not gonna work. And then Heathcliff runs away, and you're just right then and there. You're just like, this is doomed. This is doomed.
Yeah. I love that scene.
It's so good
in the book, like the part where the three of them, it's Nellie Nellie's narrating Catherine's confession of her love for Heathcliff. She's torn between she should marry Edgar Linton or marry Heathcliff. And Nellie, it's important, like even like for people who haven't read the book, like Nellie grew up with all these other Catherine and
she's the same age
they were
as
all children together.
Henley and her, I believe, are the same age, I think. So which I like. You're right.
But Nellie's like a servant and like born to be a servant, kind of. So she's always like subservient to them. But there are moments where they all talk to each other like they're siblings a little bit, and I kind of like that a little bit. That's really creates a good dynamic between them all. But,
and there's people that take the Nellie thing as like the term has been beat to hell, but they call her unreliable. That's like another thing. They're like, Nellie's unreliable. Then why are you reading the book? Like, come on, Nellie's not modern. Yeah, Nellie doesn't gain anything from this. What does Nellie gain from any of this? She doesn't get anything. If anything, she kind of suffers from it. Like not suffers, but like you feel like Nellie could have moved on to some other family, could have got in somewhere else where maybe there's not nearly as much drama. But no, she actually felt some tethering to it. Now, the only time I could see anything being unreliable, and again, I wouldn't even say that this is necessary, is maybe she has like a lot of clapbacks in the book, where she's like, you done, like maybe like that feels like also like you're retelling a story, like you actually did clap back when really you just stood there and like took it, which is like totally fine. It's totally fine. I'm glad it's written that way, but like why people like love to argue the minutia of like Nellie is an unreliable narrator, and I'm like, no. First off, we're reading the book. We don't need to dissect that aspect of it, because if Nellie came out of this book rich, I'd be like, yeah, okay, maybe there's something there. No, she's like little Catherine Jr. or whatever her name is, Catherine Linton. At the end, like she's like, this is my child. Basically, I need to have this. Somebody, please come save this child. Like Mr. Lockwood, you should save this child. Like she's Nellie's good. Like Nellie's good.
The problem with that interpretation of Nellie's character, I think it ignores a very important, to me, it's what's a very important aspect of Nellie's character that stood out from all the others, is when Lockwood interrupts the story. It's like right halfway through the first quarter of the book, like near the beginning, but he interrupts and he's like, "Oh, Nellie, you're so like well spoken, and you're like really intelligent for a servant." And then she's like, "Oh yeah, like I read my master had a library and I read a lot of the books. I was like the only one in the house who read." Like Joseph's just stuck reading the Bible the same way every time. Heathcliff doesn't read. Catherine doesn't read. Oh, Catherine learns to read eventually.
Yeah, Harrison's retarded.
Harrison's just retarded. And I think that's really important. It doesn't just add. It doesn't just explain why she's able to like narrate everything, this will play later on in the end of the book too, when being able to read is seen almost as salvific. But anyways, we can get into that later.
That's an excellent point. I think I didn't even think about that.
It gives Nellie the freedom as well to rise above the moral or like the immoral conflict around her all the time.
And it's a good breaking of the fourth wall to just show that like, why would I lie to you about this?
Yeah.
Why would I lie? Why would I lie to Mr. Lockwood about this? Because
her motivation's in something else. It's not it's not this. Her motive is not on the same level. Use the word materialism. Like it's not on the same material level as Heathcliff's and Catherine's. Yeah.
Right, because like exactly. So what Kathy eventually is going to get married to Edgar Linton, and it's just happening. It's just happening. It just there's no way out of it. And Edgar Linton's like the Lintons are the kind of like Gatsby style like parties, like where you look and you're like, that's actually I don't get the idea the Earnshaws are like paupers and destitute or anything, but they're definitely not balling out of control the way the Lintons are. There's that beautiful scene which is ruined in the new movie, but that beautiful scene where Heathcliff and Kathy go try to crash, kind of like party crash the Linton like dance party, which she does it by herself in the movie, which I don't think that's dumb. Like you're supposed to be, aren't you trying to build some romance? Like this is so stupid. And she builds it and like crashes the party by trying. It's like stupid and silly and like whimsical. I can't stand it. But like, I mean, I love it. In the 1939 movie, it's actually terrifying where
that's really good.
When they're attacked by dogs and you're like, are they actually getting their people's legs being bit by dogs? Like I was like, yo, like how are they filming this? This is
they
crazy.
had real life dogs attacking.
I was like, they were like big, like Great
Baskerville. How do the Baskerville looking?
They were huge because there are like really scary dogs at the beginning of Wuthering Heights. Just like in the book, there's just like 12 dogs out of nowhere. I believe Mr. Lockwood gets bit by one of Heathcliff's dogs at the beginning, and like that was
he's got dogs too.
Something like that. Something happens where like it's just these dogs are just everywhere. But I thought that was just I love that scene where they're like both trying to like maybe we could be like strivers together, but then they get caught and Kathy is treated like you are still like kind of on our level.
Yeah,
and
she's nobility.
Your servant boy is just like, it's just not going to happen. Yeah. And unfortunately with Kathy can have all the romance in her head that she wants, there's still this like structure that she just has to conform to, where she's just, again, you can run off. Like you're not going to have the same life that you have, but you can run off. And if Heathcliff is all that's worth in life, then you should. But she will not do that.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of one of the major tensions of the book. Like it's. I mean, America was already a nation at the time of the writing of this book for like almost 100 years, but that's a very American sense of life. It's like, oh, you can go beyond the boundaries of what society.
It's true.
Like, you can have a revolution if you want. It's possible. And like, whether it's a personal one or a political, like national one. Whereas for the English, it's way more like, no, you don't do that. Like at best is you take your problems to the bureaucracy and let them like but I do appreciate that tension in Wuthering Heights, especially. It's interesting seeing how other people read that part of it, the dynamic of the social structures, because these old books too, especially like I've been reading a lot of like Gothic literature. That's how I got into the Wuthering Heights. I read like Dracula, Frankenstein, and then like an older like Castle of Otranto, the Monk, which are these like from 1700s, but they're all kind of like, some say Brontë kind of is borrowing from them or is influenced by them, especially Radcliffe. But those books, the plot relies heavily on these like the rules of hereditary law and inheritance law.
Yeah, and I don't doubt for a second that it was 100% real. I just to me it's like there is this like martyrdom in following the rules, like to this, and it's for me. That's always what makes these books like tough for me. Is like I just don't want to follow. I am not saying I'm not a guy who breaks the law constantly, but if I see a bad situation, I'm just like, I don't know. How about I don't do that? Well, we have to because there's so much of this like lined up, and I understand there's times you just have to put up with something because it's for the greater good. But like these, what's funny is that like you don't like these. Like I can't imagine a lot of people like, maybe they do, but I didn't end up. There was no point where I liked Kathy or Heathcliff. Like there was just no point in the book. But it was to the point where I was actually rooting for them to actually go off because I didn't want anybody else to suffer. Like the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard things kind of like that to me, where I was just thinking where I was just thinking like, if I was a judge, and I think I've said this on here before, but if I was a judge, I'd be like, hey, no one's guilty, nobody's innocent. You're forced to be married and live in a house on house arrest for the rest of your life. That's what I would just say to you two, because like you two both seem like this is like what you should be doing to each other, and why should anybody else have to fall for this? Like, why should anybody else be even in the vicinity of it? And I would just that just to me felt like the easiest way ever. Like, instead of he's wrong, she's wrong, I'm like, that it sucks. Like, let's be real. Like, the whole thing sucks, and they are meant for each other. Like, Kathy and Heathcliff are meant for each other. They are each other's equal in that sense. Like, they are I think intellectually, because I don't think Catherine's that smart. Her daughter's smart, but I don't think Catherine's this like STEM genius that Margot Robbie is supposed to be in the movie. And Heathcliff is clearly a guy who has street smarts and can learn anything. Like, he's just one of those guys that can pick up a tool and be a master of it in a month. He could, if he didn't know how to read, he would learn and be damn good at it. Like, it was just, he's so skilled, which is actually terrifying because he has like zero moral compass whatsoever.
Well, that's not to sound too Marxist, but that's the plight of the working man a little bit. Is your like your skill level is like any good worker can be good at working at anything. Like, that's the point of being a good worker. And like, you have to be able to adapt to any kind of job, and you learn whatever job. That's like the Heathcliff figure. But it's like, if without education, without some kind of moral training, so to speak, like that's which is like, I guess what Nellie had, and like what Catherine lacks a little bit. Like, Catherine still gets, like, in the scene with the confession of the eternal love, so to speak, that's a great scene because she's as much as she has these pure intentions with Heathcliff, or she's trying to be connected with them, she can't help but fall for the material sustenance that the Linton marrying into the Linton family will give her, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. And
anyways, well, my point is just that she's more susceptible. Like, she's just as susceptible to going against what she wants, really.
Exactly.
Like,
You're I think you're 100% right about that.
Sorry,
and then
I don't know where I was going with that, but
it's just it's really frustrating. The frustrating part about the first half of this book is just like, it's just seeing somebody just run into that brick wall and just over and over and over again. And like, sometimes it's got the Acme tunnel painted on the brick wall, but you and I know that's not a brick. You and I know that's not a tunnel. But like, and even Kathy kind of know. Like, I feel like Kathy kind of knows where this story's headed a lot of times, but she just is down to torture herself over it. Which again, kind of unfortunately, I've seen that in a lot of ladies, where you're just like, okay, you knew that was gonna happen. Like, what? Like, like, just like, I meant to, but like, I see it a lot with the ladies. But you see, like, to the point where she's running away, right? She wants to run away and run off into this like hill, the moors or whatever it is. And it's just raining, and that's bad news back then, because unless you're like 200 pounds, you're gonna die if you get a cold. Apparently is what I've learned from Victorian fiction.
Die from
it's like,
the rain.
Good to be fat. And it's like, people say it's good to be fat because it looks like you're well fed, but it's also good to be fat because like you could just handle an illness. Like,
you have insulation.
You just got a little bit, like, you could also like lose 30 pounds and like it doesn't emaciate you. I feel like that's also the thing. But a lot of people are getting TB back then. Tuberculosis. They would call it like lung inflammation, because there's that Dr. Kenneth that comes in. He's the one that comes in. He's like, lungs are inflamed. So Kathy's like dying, right? And Heathcliff is just like, the whole time Heathcliff has gone off. He's gone abroad, and he's just like comes back, and he's like, he's a man. He's just like, he's a beast. And in the 1939 movie, they really do a good job with Laurence Olivier, like turning him into like just a dapper like Englishman. And when he comes back you're like, ooh, he's wearing black. He looks like Edgar Allan Poe.
He's like a Peaky Blinder now.
He looks like Edgar Allan Poe, which I think is Edgar Allan Poe before or after Brontë? Kind of like around the same time, right?
I want to say during, but that's a good question.
Yeah, because I got a lot of Poe out of this. A lot of Poe. The hauntings, like the kind of hauntings of Heathcliff towards the end, are very Poe. Him just wandering around the yard, kind of hearing things that aren't there. A lot of Poe. I've read a lot of Edgar Allan Poe, but he always he always no, yeah, he died in 1849. He's well before this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he died in 1849, and she wrote this book in 1848, I think, right before she died.
She died in 48. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yes, and she wrote this book right before. So a lot of Poe in this. Did she ever read it? I don't know, but I'm not even trying to say like there's any copying or anything, but I really love that like Poe kind of like it's like paranormal, but not, like it's like it's kind of like walking that gray area between like supernatural and just hyper material. And I think towards the end, the book really takes a nice turn in that direction.
I like that.
I guess Heathcliff. I guess what I mean about like Heathcliff is just like he comes back and he's just like he's the man that like he could never be, right? Like with his standing. And Catherine's kind of like, damn, like it's just kind of that meme of like the girl in the in high school where she's like, I don't date nerds, and then the nerd is like, it's just kind of like that. Like he comes back and she's just like, shit, I should have waited, not I should have been with him, not that I should have been with him, but he's got money now. She doesn't know this, but he's gonna buy the Wuthering Heights off of Hindley, right? Like he's gonna or buy the mortgage, kind of whatever. He's just gonna take over the debts and pay them off. And so she knows and that, like, what I like about these is that's equally as killer to her as like her pregnant disease death that she has. Like like that's like not what kills her. It is what kills her, but like what kills her is like I fucked. You die of heartbreak. You die of heartbreak back then. And and so she's just like, that's it for me. And Edgar Linton's like nice to her the whole time. What I love about this book is how everyone knows everything. Everyone knows. He's like, my wife wants to fuck Heathcliff. Like constantly, she has no interest in me whatsoever. And people talk to each other like the person's not there. And the person's like 2 chairs over. And they're like, I hate my husband. He's a bitch. And then like, he's just like, yeah, we should kill Edgar. And then they're like, and Edgar's just like, would anyone care for some tea? Like, and then, old people, if you ever hear old people like bickering, old couples are like that, they like talk about each other like they're not in the room. They're like, yeah, she just never gets shit like that. Yeah, I can't. We watch movies. Who's that? Like in the movies. You say that. You run the garbage disposal. Don't run the garbage disposal while I'm talking. Like like they act like they're not there, and it's like they are. And there's a whole tone of this book like that, which I love.
I always chalked it up to just like like English manners, like how ingrained that is. Like it is like that classic stereotype of like what's proper, and like you're supposed to just sit there and take it. And then and be indirect. They talk about everything so indirectly a little bit too. Like, oh, your friend Heathcliff comes around a lot. Like it's very much. Can't like just be like, oh, you're fucking this guy.
Where did Heathcliff learn his manners from? Just kind of like, instead of saying that motherfucker's never allowed to come, which they do. People all get to that point, which is really funny. It's like, you're all going to get to that point of, he is not to be allowed in my house. Like everybody's going to get to that point, and almost everybody in the book finally speaks their mind at some point when it's far too late. And like when Heathcliff is straight up like Cape Fear mode, like Robert De Niro Cape Fear, like he's when he's reaching through the window and it's straight up Max Cady at that point. That's and it's kind of sick, honestly. Like I was ready. I was like, wow, I didn't know we went there in this book. I didn't know it turned into like people just like walking around, almost ghost people walking around with guns in the house. Because like Hindley's like effectively dead for like 5 years before he dies. Like everyone's just like, Hindley just is like a Pirates of the Caribbean ghost that walks around our house and just with a gun. And he's like, he's like on an animatron thing, like just doing the same thing every time, and like jingling a set of keys and then walking around like he's just gone. Like he's toast.
He's on autopilot.
He's on autopilot. Like we got 3 modes we can switch him up in, but he's just Heathcliff's just like, they have like this crazy, like, we're going to kill each other if we ever see each other, like fighting fish. Like it's really strange. It's so funny, but you're right. It's playing with that. Like, well, I can't just punch him.
No,
I can't just punch him, because then what would happen? Like that's why I love Barry Lyndon. Like the movie is when he finally beats the shit out of his son. like it's just like in front of the orchestra, like while a thing, and you're just kind of like, oh shit, yeah, you just can't do that. Yeah, that actually is bad if you do that. Because the whole time I'm thinking, why don't you just kick that kid's ass? And then you're like, oh shit, he did. That's actually a really bad idea that he did. Now he doesn't have any friends. And especially somebody who requires a lot of these people, it's your network is your net worth. Very Victorian, by the way. Yeah, like rise and grind. Victoria's, a lot of it's rise and grind. When you think about it. And so there's just, that
was like Heathcliff, man. He was plotting this thing since like near the beginning of the book. Like then he comes back and does all his revenge.
There is a male fantasy element to Heathcliff that I'm scared to admit. A little bit. And the only one is Heathcliff doesn't have to be nice to anybody, which I like. Like he really doesn't. Like, I mean, it would be better if he did, you know, but like he's just one of those guys where he's just like, I'm gonna get everything I want, because he just sees everybody as like, he sees that everybody has to kind of live a certain way, and he's like, well, they've never seen me as that, so I don't have to, you know. So I can just take that guy's house over. And I don't have to go through all the, like, you know, I can do it.
He becomes a bit of a Joker figure. Like,
very Joker.
He's like, everyone's got their systems, and I can like come in and disrupt the system.
Yeah.
But he's got his own kind of, you know, he's like, oh, it's
kind of sick. It's kind of sick. I'm not gonna lie.
That's like fantasy.
Yeah, like I know it's
act without impunity.
Because I don't like him, but I was just like, that part, I was like, I get it for sure. Like, you know, because after Kathy dies, it is the Joker makeup comes on. Like he's just like, well, it's Cape, it's, you know, Cape Fear basically. Like it's just he's on the boat. Robert De Niro's on the boat, and you're like, oh shit, where are we gonna go? You know, and he's very much that, because Isabella Linton is Edgar Linton's young, kind of just naive, dumb sister who, again, if she did follow the rules of Victorian stuff, she probably would be in a better spot, because she's like, I like the servant slave boy actually. But Heathcliff, by the time he comes back, is more of a rich man, more of a got his own money kind of thing. So I guess
again,
it's true.
In that world, if you came upon wealth mysteriously, there's always suspicion around it. Like especially in that, I don't know how much you know about like the English, and I don't pretend to know too much either, but I do know that like you're supposed to trace your lineage and your wealth hereditarily. Like if you could claim, oh yeah, my dad was like a noble somewhere once upon a time. Whereas Heathcliff doesn't. He just comes back and he's like, oh, I went overseas and made a bunch of money.
He's got fuck you money.
In England, that's very suspicious. People don't like trust that kind of.
I know.
Nowadays, it's different for sure. But
it is different because they're just like, "That's your checking account? Okay, cool.
Yeah,
sir, we'll help you here." Like, but no, you're right, because everybody is, and also people knew him.
And so going back to Isabella, like, she doesn't care. She falls for it.
And Edgar's got his own thing going on where he's just like, okay, he's gonna go after my sister, but I have Kathy, who's like, I gotta keep an eye on that. And you know, then after Kathy dies, it's kind of too late. But Heathcliff marries Isabella just to like keep her captive as like property. Like I'm telling you, like people say like there's torture in the movie. I'm like, no, the torture in the book is worse in my opinion. It's just it's because there's no like sexual element of release with it. Like there's just nobody's getting off on it. It's like it's pure cruelty. Like Heathcliff is not like jerking off in the corner after doing this. Like it's not like yes. He's just like, yo, like Kathy's dead, and Heathcliff feels cursed with life. Like at that point, but it's also like I'm also playing with house money. You know, and it's this weird thing where he's like, I should be dead. I'm not going to kill myself. You know, I'm not. It's not going to happen because I have work to do. Unfortunately, the work is I have to just destroy this entire thing. He's very much this anarchist, like in the sense, and I have to destroy everything that's around here. I like his interactions with Nellie because, like what you said, like Nellie's known them since kids, so he kind of has to talk to Nellie different. If you ever noticed throughout the book,
he respects her a little bit more.
He respects her, but then after Nellie finally says it, he goes, "Why don't you shut up?" Like he'll say that, like eventually. But like you know, the other like Kathy Linton, the daughter of Catherine, he'll just be like, "Don't you even look at me?" Like he'll just be like, "Shut up," you know. Like he's like right off the bat, he doesn't give
because Nellie's the only one who knows him and like remembers too how he acted and like what he came from, I guess.
Yeah, because you have Joseph, who like I'll be honest, I didn't even understand what he was saying half the book.
Was he supposed to be Scottish? Is that supposed to be Scottish?
He's just like British redneck. I don't. Yeah, like however that word. Like it's like if like British people had Duck Dynasty. I feel like that's how.
Yeah.
It's in the Book of Revelations, Heathcliff. Like just that kind of like.
He's kind of just a fossil. That works on the farm. He just quotes scripture all the time. He's this like old man in the corner who just judges what everyone's doing. He thinks everything everyone does is wickedness, and they all need to just get on their knees and pray. But like, there's moments too where it's like during a thunderstorm where Joseph's like gets on his knees. He's like, "Oh, please, like God, I've been so faithful, save me."
Yeah.
If you have to take take all these other people because they've never worshipped you.
He's self-preservation. He's religious.
He's not like
He's
like a pseudo Christian. He's not even.
Oh, I love that.
And I liked his character in that way, though. There's this commentary, I think, a little bit on the like it's like he's supposed to be like the Bible is supposed to be this like moral center of human act, righteousness and forgiveness, but yet he's like completely useless and like impotent a little bit.
He's useless, and also I just think I think it's meant to show how godless like this whole thing is, like where it's just like there's this like dabbling Scottish idiot in the corner that is the only religious thing you're getting in this book. And I kind of liked it because you feel that sense of evil, and there's this kind of guilt of like really being invested in it. Like I said, it indicts the reader, and people are scared to do that. It's like, no, you like this because it's trashy and mean and disgusting. It's why people watch all the TV shows nowadays. Why is reading Wuthering Heights any different, in my opinion? Like it's actually a great olive branch to that, in my opinion.
That's a good point. There was I heard a sermon once, and they said I think it was Jonathan Edwards, who also was a preacher during the Victorian era. So, but he said that how a Christian to like preach the word from the scriptures but live immorally is a contradiction. Like, and he's not saying, oh, there's no such thing. He's saying like you're disproving yourself, and you're not helping anyone if you're not being a good person to other people.
Yeah. And I don't like, and how bad is Joseph? Like, I mean, he is like, because at the end of the day,
I don't know, to me he's like really judgy. I thought he was just like, he's not helping anyone.
Right.
I saw him as a stereotype, like the Bible thumper, like a fundamentalist Bible thumper who's like not Puritan. He thinks he's doing the right thing, but it's like you're not talking to anyone.
Well, and I guess what I mean, it was where I was getting at is like, because Nellie goes through the same aspect where you're like, okay, like she would do this, like this is what she would do. However, she can't, because straight up, like Heathcliff would lash the hell out of Joseph. Like if he ever like tried anything. Now Heathcliff only keeps around because maybe he knows he won't try anything like the whole time. He's really loyal to Joseph. Joseph's always there. You get that scene at the end where I did feel bad for Joseph, where he got his garden fucked with. I got mad at little Kathy and Harrington for that, because I'm like, dude, let the guy have his damn garden. It's all he has in the material world besides his spiritual stuff with God and all that. Like I was like, because I don't love Joseph. In fact, I thought that's the worst form of writing for Brontë. We don't need the fucking real dialect. Like, can you just type a sentence, like, or write a sentence that maybe a little, like a couple little, a shortening of a few words and something like that. Like, but there's a lot of authors that do that where I'm like, I got it. They got the like Cockney. They're not even Cockney. The crazy groundskeeper Willie, like, accent. Like, I get it. Like, I understand that we have that. But
I was listening to an audiobook, and even like hearing someone try to read it, like, didn't make sense to me. I thought it would be helpful, but
there was like one time where he had like a straight monologue for like a page, and I was like, hopefully we get it. Hopefully that doesn't meet something I need to know. And it really wasn't. So it was just kind of like, and again, his presence in the book is great. I was just kind of like, Emily, that's my one problem is Joseph's like just actual dialect. Like, you don't have to do that. Maybe back then it made more sense. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it was just funny. But I love that scene. And it's kind of like really right at that halfway point of the book when everything changes, and Kathy's dead at this point. And they're trying to decide where she's going to be buried at this. And there's kind of like a war of like, she should be buried on this hill over here or this other landscape or something. Yeah. And then there's that scene where I believe it's, gosh, I can't even remember who it is. If it's Nellie that goes over there, or if she, oh no, I'm sorry, it's Isabella Linton that does this, and she's telling Nellie. There's a lot of changing in narratives. It's actually really fun. I think a lot of times
it makes it hard to remember, to be honest.
I think in audio, I bet it didn't work at all.
Yeah,
I bet in audio that probably doesn't work as well either. Like,
because they'll interrupt the storyteller, and then, but like if you're not paying attention, you're like, wait, why is this character in the room? But you realize, oh, it's the speakers, and
because on the book she does a really good job, which I guess we could only really judge Emily Brontë in 1850 with before the audiobook tag. But like I see what you mean, like, because I was kind of the same way. I'm like, oh, this is somebody else. But she said, and I always I've never been good at the Mrs. versus Miss thing, which is a different person. It's not like I got your name wrong and you're married, my bad. It's like, oh no, that's a completely different person. Miss Linton versus Mrs. Linton. You know, so I've always been like,
that gets crazy.
Yeah, and that happens a lot. That happens in a lot of these books too. Dickens, that's just the way they referred to people back then. The master of the house. You're like, who's the master? But yeah, like just not that's something you have to learn when you read these books. And Brontë does a pretty good job of, like, without hammering it home like a million times like the movie does, of like what's happening. You're kind of like, oh, okay, I see. So Isabella Linton goes over there where she's like, hey, I married Heathcliff, just showing up to see what's going on. And they have like a straight up like disgusting house with like just fire burning in random parts of it. And Hareton Earnshaw, who is Hindley's son, is just like, they're gonna have dinner, and it's just he's drinking straight out of the milk carafe. And which is like, I don't even think I don't even like that now. I think that's gross now, but back then that must have been like saying the N-word at the table. In fact, it probably wasn't even as bad. But just this, like, back then he was drinking like milk, and she's just like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, and it was just disgusting. And he's like, where do I sleep? You can sleep wherever you want. And she's like,
no hospitality.
And she's like, show me to my, because it's such a thing. You need to show me to my room. These people are like vampires. Like, invite me to the room I'm staying in. And like, it's really funny when that scene is great. I think like the book really comes alive at that point and becomes this like almost horror novel at that, like gothic horror novel at that point, which I really, really liked, because when Kathy died, I'm just thinking, what do we do from here? Like, what do we do for 200 pages here? Like, we like, Kathy's dead. So like, little did I know, I actually enjoyed the last half of the book a lot more than the first.
I don't remember as much because I read the book a year ago, but I do. I found that too. I didn't know.
You could have fooled me. I thought you fucking read it last week. You sound like you got everything.
I listened to half of it through the audiobook.
I got you. Yeah.
But the second half was surprisingly really good. I did not know that there was an entire second generation. Like, that's something everyone leaves out. You think it's about Heathcliff and Catherine, and that's what all the movies are about. But no, this book's got, like, Catherine dies, and she dies through childbirth.
Yeah,
I think, right? So she has a daughter that Heathcliff is also like haunting.
Yeah. No, he's that's mine.
Kind of grooming a little bit. It's like really weird. Yeah, he's always
and you think, like, because again, I read the series of Unfortunate Events as a beginning, and you wonder how, like, you get, because that's just written by like a guy in San Francisco in like the 90s, but Lemony Snicket. I fucking love those books. Like the Austere Academy and all the alliteration titles. I loved them. Loved Klaus and Violet. And the little baby, I can't remember, or is that
Sonny?
Sonny, yes.
Baudelaire,
Sonny was the like tactical MacGyver out of all of them. Yeah, but that was great. So, but anyways, like, there's always that, like, well, this old man found out you exist, and now you're his property, and he's gonna just insert himself into your life at all times. There's gonna be like a kind of a weird grooming sexual element to it, but like it never really turns into that.
I would almost say it's, again, this is kind of where, like, it's like what lens you approach the book, I think, will affect how you're interpreting all the reader, like what happens. But like, and the pure, like, reading it purely on a sexual romantic level, I think that is unhelpful. But they're like, but it is helpful allegorically, or like
unless you're trying to get an orgasm as a girl, I guess.
That's what you're reading, yeah.
Unless you're bringing a blanket to the movie theater, I'm not letting her off the hook. That lady, this was ridiculous.
Crazy. Yeah,
that's woman privilege right there.
Yeah, it's
a guy brings a blanket to the
adult
movie.
Child.
Like if a guy brings a blanket to the movie theater, you're like, you sicko, what are you doing? Yeah, but she's probably doing the same thing. I thought she was doing the same thing underneath that blanket. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, you're right. Like it's this kind of like because in the second half of the
he's
book,
being really coy, I think. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember it like every time he runs into like the young Catherine, the daughter, he's like, oh, hey, he's like really friendly. He's being way too friendly. And Nellie is babysitting her all the time. Is like, don't be friends with Heathcliff because you don't know much about him. But he's got like he's got a past.
Yeah, and Heathcliff Heathcliff has. By the way, everyone, the minute like everyone here has sickness hanging over their head. Like just like everybody in the book, except Heathcliff, to be honest, everybody in the book could die at any moment. Like, I mean, Nellie never. I think Nellie gets sick for even like a month too. Like a month, she has like just an absolute like just wipe out illness, like where she's like, "Fuck, what's exactly. I don't know. I don't know why that happened. I mean, again, this book's being written by a woman who's going to eventually die of tuberculosis in like a year, so that could also be. But this is a constant in all of like Victorian fiction. It's just like if you cough once, everyone looks at you like, get the fucking coffin ready. Get the coffin ready for him. He's just like sorry, is it dusty in here? They're like, you're not fooling anyone. You're gonna die. You're gonna die. You're gonna die immediately, like tomorrow. And so they're just but the specter of Kathy is like haunting everybody. But I think she kind of. This is just how I think. At the beginning of that second half, you're like, Kathy's ghost is everywhere. You're just like this whole thing. But like about 100 pages after that, you kind of forget about Kathy, like a little bit. Like I did a little bit. Like this is all stems from her, but you're kind of like Heathcliff is and I think this is actually genius writing right here, where Heathcliff is operating, and you kind of just think you're like, man, Heathcliff is just an asshole, and he is, and it doesn't excuse any of his behavior. But towards the end, Heathcliff finally talks about like what is in his head, and you see, because for page upon page, you're just seeing a man do awful action, and you think he's doing it to get because of like just nothing's in his mind, and he's just like there's nothing more to life or anything. But you realize he's like hyper yearning and stuff, and he's actually like any bad thing he's ever done, he's actually suffering really hard because he's seen like Kathy's ghost somewhere or just anything, and you kind of like, it doesn't excuse anything he did, but it's like you kind of she makes Kathy appear again to kind of put a button or a bow on like Heathcliff as a character, and you're like, oh, this is nice. Like towards the end, there's this part where it's just it's like actually like heartbreaking. Like you kind of have to remind yourself, you're like, no, this guy sucks. Like, and it's just like he's just like. Is
it when he confesses about finding the grave or digging
it's in that part. It's in that thing. I thought I had a note saved here for like where it was, but there's this like beautiful like passage of him just kind of like giving the game up, basically, where he's just like, I miss her, like I do that. Everybody knows he does, but like there's been so much that's happened since then. Everybody just thinks he's just on a revenge tour, and he is. That's not that he's not, but he's just like, yeah, but I also just am like, I see her everywhere. Like I see, like, if you've ever like lost somebody, like you're just like, you do see them like everywhere. And like, it's actually kind of like, it's like a bittersweet moment where you're like, I kind of wish I didn't see you because I know it won't be there and stuff. And like for her to introduce that back in, and somebody who's, more skilled. Okay, here we go. I have it. So it's like, it's just like, Nellie's seen all of this since the beginning. So the story's like, it's being told to him, and like he's just saying like, he said, now since I've seen her, I'm pacified a little. It was a strange way of killing, not by inches, but by fractions, to hairbreadths, to beguile me with the specter of a hope through 18 years. And this is coming off of like him basically saying it was fastened. And And I remember that accused Earnshaw and my wife opposed my entrance. I remember stopping to kick the breath out of him. This is when he's talking about beating up Hindley a long time ago. And then hurrying upstairs to my room and hers. I looked around impatiently. I felt her by me. I could almost see her, and yet not. I ought to have sweat blood then from the anguish of my yearning, from the fervor of my supplications to have but one glimpse. I had not one. She showed herself, as she often in her life, a devil to me. And since then, sometimes more and sometimes less, I've been the sport of that intolerable torture. And he goes on and on, but he goes back. This is all a paragraph by Emily Brontë. Like, it's not, he basically just says, like, all the times you saw those things, I'm showing you the times I went to a room and almost cried afterwards after I did it and stuff. And like, it adds a sense of like humanity to Heathcliff, which it doesn't absolve him of anything, but you're just kind of like, oh wait, there actually was more happening there. There was more.
Yeah. Yeah, he has a heart still. He's not one-dimensional.
Too much of a heart, you would even say. Like you would even say the heart's the problem. Whereas you thought there was a heartlessness. Like you thought it was all heartlessness, but he's a bleeding heart.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. It's obsession.
I don't know if I'm articulating that correctly.
No, I get it. Yeah, I think
that's almost the twist. That's almost an Agatha Christie twist to the novel, in my opinion. Like it's crazy. Like she does that in that paragraph where you're just going like, damn it. Like, obviously it's obvious. Like, it's not like this is some big reveal, but you've gone without Catherine for so long. Like, Catherine is just not there anymore. They're her kids. Yeah. The kids, little Catherine is 16 years old at this point. Hareton is trying to get her, and it's not working. It's not going to happen. Yeah. And then you're seeing Catherine versus Heathcliff. Heathcliff is set in the cycle of abuse. Yeah. He sets it up on purpose. He knows that Hareton is going to be a discount ass dollar store version of him, and go, even though we're not blood related, he's like, I know her presence among Catherine's daughter. He's going to yearn for her, and she's just not. It's not going to happen. But she's not going to feel anything towards him. It's going to be even more punishment. It's going to just be, or less, if you think about it. The door's never going to be open. And then of course we haven't talked about Heathcliff's son, who's the sickly little dandy kid who's just just this like, he sucks. I'm sorry, I couldn't wait for him to die. Like, rooting for a kid to die in a book is not a good position. But you're reading Wuthering Heights, and he was just like, I'll meet you on the cliff today if I could even get up there. I'll meet you up on the moors and I'll talk. And then it's just and Heathcliff has set in basically like, okay, I was doomed with Catherine, but I'm going to do a different thing of dooming somebody, where you're going to marry my crippled son, who is not going to make it till like baseball season of next year. Like, he's gonna die. This guy sucks. Like he's like, he will not see like anything, but you're gonna marry him. I'm gonna make you feel pity for him, because despite me not being able to feel pity for anyone other than myself or Catherine, I can't, I know that's your flaw. I know that's your flaw, that you will feel pity. Because Catherine, the daughter, I think is largely like a pretty decent girl. More or less, all things considered. She still has a little bit of that mom in her, a little bit, but it's kind of in a charming way, like kind of like, that's your mother. You're your mother's daughter.
I know, like, she's one of the few likable people in this book.
But Heathcliff's like, I know exactly what you are, and I'm gonna set these mouse traps that you think you see. People are gonna warn you about them, but you will fall into them. And like, he's just kind of watching it from his ivory tower. And that's why when they bring in that whole like, okay, after I destroyed this whole room and killed this girl captive, I went in there and I saw a ghost of Kathy, and I just couldn't even like leave for myself, and I had to leave for days. And you're just like, shit, this guy actually has a heartbeat, and that's the problem.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point. It's the heartbeat. It's the obsession, or like his infatuation,
right?
Yeah, and like well, and it's parallel too with how little he cares about everyone else and everything else around him. Like, it's the two go hand in hand. Like, that's why, like, his source of happiness, so to speak, when that gets taken away, then there's no other motivation for like why he should be caring about the world. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, because you wonder halfway.
Make it
Yeah, no, you're wondering. I know exactly what you mean. Because like for me, and like maybe somebody could have seen this earlier than I did, but it worked on me. I guess her twist is kind of this, like you're going like, man, if you're Heathcliff, like just kill yourself. Like you know what I mean. Like because he doesn't really. He's not a religious man. That's not what's keeping him there. And it's like this revenge tour where you're just like trying to avenge a death. But like you're not though. He's like it's not really avenging a death. He's avenging a circumstance. Like like he's like I get to win. Like he's not avenging her death. Like none of this because
no.
You know what I mean? Don't you? I don't know if I'm wrong there.
I don't know. Like maybe it. I don't think there's right and wrong really. To be honest, it's literature. But I like the way I took it was it's more of a like an indifference to the world.
Yes.
Not so it's not so much as like, oh, he's motivated, like there's a purpose to why he treats everyone the way he does and why like, the world around him becomes dilapidated. It's more just I guess like it's indifferent. Like the world does not matter one way. Like he's a kind of a nihilist, but not,
but then the twist is that he's absolutely not, like the twist. Like I think I just you don't do all of this and then reveal that like and that could have been a manipulation tactic, but I don't think so because he's in a positive mood before death. Everyone's like he has this weird positivity for him, and it's like uncanny. Everybody's going like, what is his deal? And it's like almost they almost miss the like mean thing that he was because this is so foreign and you think so like
he's like smiling.
It's weird. Like you thought it was. I talked about Charles Dickens. Like Charles Dickens really rewards people who are like constant, just like, okay, you could be a constant like idiot, but you're constant. And I know that about you. I know Monday through Sunday, you are going to be an idiot. And I know what you're capable of. And I know that like, if I trust you with anything, it's probably not going to go well. But then you have these characters, these scheming characters who always present themselves as this, but are actually this and are this, that those people are the villains. Like those are the villains. And you can be able to tell that from the beginning in these books where everybody was like sick of Heathcliff. I mean, he was ruining everything. I mean, he was like doing like arranged marriages he was doing his own reality show. Basically. It was like, he was like having his own reality show of kind of saying like, okay, Harriton's going to yearn over you. You're going to marry my son who's going to die. Then you're going to be stuck with a guy you don't actually like, which is like a kind of inversion. It's not even an inversion. It's actually it's basically like swapping Heathcliff out for like a dying person. And it's like, you're going to be Catherine, you're going to be me. You know what I mean? Like, and she doesn't love Catherine Linton, the daughter, doesn't love Heathcliff's son the way Kathy and Heathcliff loved each other. But he knows she doesn't like Harriton like to that degree beyond like a friend that, or like kind of just a retarded kid that she can like help read or something like here and there, and she kind of softens up to him and everything. But he's like, I'm gonna basically turn you into me, see how you like being me, and you can't be me. Like where the thing you love is taken from you, or the thing you maybe gave you the best chance at love is taken from you, and then you're going to be stuck with big dum-dum over here.
Yeah.
Your mom's brother,
I kind of took it as like
your mom's brother's kid.
The invalid. I took it as like Misery Loves Company.
True.
Is almost kind of the moral of the story. Like, I'm not to oversimplify it, or what you just said too, but I agree. Like there is this weird, it's like, I've never seen someone work so hard for something so meaningless a little bit. I don't know, like maybe I'm just finding I think I have a hard time finding Heathcliff's motivation too, but it's like
the motivation is that he it's just Catherine.
Like he's embittered to the world because Catherine's dead, right?
Yes, he is. And then also he wants to be buried next to her because it's again this hyper materialism aspect of like our spirit. It doesn't matter what our spirits do after we die. Like there's no like, okay, I'll put it this way. Like I'll put only my own marriage in this thing because I don't want to do it to anybody else's. But like I've always told my wife, if I die, like don't just be lonely for the rest of your life. Like, do what you got to do. Now, St. Peter in heaven is going to understand that I'm the guy. And whatever guy you marry after me, every other month, put him up at the Motel 6 version of heaven. You're going to see him like once every other month. I'm like joking, but not really. I'm going to be like, he's still a part of it. Look, like hey, thank you for your service, dude. I got it from here. You're the man. Every other month, you guys do whatever you want. I don't care. Like, you know, just whatever like that. Like but it's just this kind of like Heathcliff. I'm kind of joking, but Heathcliff could never even get to that. He just couldn't. Like, he couldn't get to that level of like, here's the plan if this doesn't work out. Well, this didn't work out, and he was doomed from the beginning. And so he's like, well, life is doomed from the beginning. So it's like weird. There's a nihilism aspect to it, but like his hard work and dedication to the thing suggests that there is only belief in destruction, right? At this point, I don't know. You're more into philosophy than me.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, like there's like like if somebody works hard to destroy something, are they a nihilist?
I see what you mean. Like a more sympathetic reading then is he to all of us, like to all the other characters in the novel, he's this very destructive character who's like, oh, you're ruining everything we love. You know, he's that guy. But you know, okay, maybe to be more sympathetic to Heathcliff, it's maybe he's just trying to bring about a new kind of world that that is like, it's so out there that no one else will like is understanding it. And like, you know, this again, like if this is the classic Marxist argument, it's like, this is what the proletariat do. It's like, you go and you seize the means of production, or you like infiltrate the upper class, and then you, through whatever way you can, bring about the revolution. And like Mark Fisher, I don't know if you know Mark Fisher, but he's like he's a very contemporary Marxist philosopher. But his whole point was like, and art, true revolutionary art should help you envision a new reality, one that's almost mystical, almost spiritual, almost eschatological. That like does like it destroys the present world, because the present world is so corrupt and evil, you know. And Heathcliff he's borrowing from Christians a lot
Heathcliff is probably doing, look at what they took from you.
You can totally make that argument. Like, I don't like it, but I do.
I'm sure that's out there. I'm sure that's out there. And
it's like, you could defend anyone. You could defend Hitler if you want. You know, it's like, it's that same
I've
kind
seen
of
it
case.
happen.
Like,
I've
if
seen
you
it
want to
happen.
look at it from that perspective, you can. And there's plenty of like, if you want to find reasons for anything, you can do it. Anyways.
Right. And like, to me, it's not about, is Heathcliff right? Is Heathcliff wrong? To me, it's what's happening. Why am I reading this book? Why do I care? I feel like I'm a character here because I'm watching it, because especially the way the story is being told, like it's being told secondhand, third hand, kind of like in this kind of way. I feel like I'm Mr. Lockwood in this sense, right? Like, I'm just like, whoa, because Mr. Lockwood gets like the hots for young Catherine. He does. He's like, ooh, he's like, so I could, like, you know, she doesn't like either of those guys. Ooh, okay. Like, you know, like he's
the entire book is him just trying to find out who this girl is. Like,
because he's
in
like,
a certain way.
He's just doing that. And I like, to me, it's like, when you read this, I guess I just push back, not on you. You're not saying this, but like, well, I know this book's reputation, or like a lot of people as a cop out will just go, well, everything's bad in it, and it's just, I just hate it, and everybody's just like awful. And it's like, that's correct. Like, but Emily Brontë also doesn't really give you any other characters to latch on to. So she does want you to take a closer look at Heathcliff. Does she want you to be sympathetic, or does she want you to hate him 10 times more? Like that. I mean, I think both are okay. His actions are his actions. Like, dude, move on. Like, I'm sorry. Like, or don't, but just don't destroy everybody in the process of it. But what I would say to that is, like, she wants you to take a look at him. Like, just go, what do you think? You know, why are you 378 pages into here? Why are you still here? I mean, yes, you like the chaos, but I haven't given you this sweet, innocent character. Maybe Nellie, but like, Nellie's not the protagonist of the book.
No,
she's not. I mean, she's the narrator. It's just, it's different. It's not the same way. She hasn't given you that. So you have, like, there has to be something more to Heathcliff, and it could be more destructive. It's not anything to absolve or anything. It could even be even more destructive. And I think that's simply the case. I think if Heathcliff just withered away, Heathcliff would have been Hindley Earnshaw if he was a nihilist.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree. I think you're touching on something that's pretty like universal. Like there's like the philosophical argument too of like, okay, so then like your hope, let's say, you know, your reason for living has to be non-material, has to be transcendent.
Yep.
And so then Heathcliff's is this, well, it becomes almost, he does kind of have his own moment of confession of as well, like what love looks like to him. But you could tie it to like the sublime as well, like which is like, I know that was like a big concept in like the 18th century of like the transcendent, how they understood it. But I think this novel is kind of doing that as well. It's like, okay, like in the chaos of everything, if like all of it can become meaningless, again, depending on like how your society structured or how your desires are organized. Yet there has to be something that keeps you tethered to reality. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was pretty vague.
No, I know what you mean. Like, cause like he's still here. He's still
so
here.
for him, like,
yeah.
Exactly. For him, I guess then like interpretation you could give it is that for him, it's this like almost projected understanding of what he thinks Catherine is.
Right. And we're
so like when Catherine confesses her love, she's like, him and I are made of the same soul. It's like this really beautiful speech about how she feels about Heathcliff that you can't help but like feel something towards. It's like a really beautiful written part, but yet there's a part of me that's like, is this true? And is this like how we should talk about love?
Yeah. And also,
and I don't know, like this might be a different conversation.
And also, should we listen to like kids? You know what I'm saying? Like you're just like the kids don't know a damn thing, you know? Like it's just but the problem is like Heathcliff knows because Heathcliff has received the burden of time to see if it's still real. And it is. It's clear. It's clear as day that it's still real, that was the one for him, right? Like that was the one. And it, you know, maybe he could have met somebody else, but he didn't want to. Like and so, you know, you have to at least accept the fact that on Heathcliff's end of it, he was never going to get sick of it. He was never going to do it. Now, if he ever actually had Catherine, how would it have gone? That's a fun, you know, idea to think about. I guess, would it have worked? Would he have just done the exact same thing he was doing to these other people? Or did that flip a switch in him? Because they never make Heathcliff as some like beautiful, young, sweet boy ever. He's always mean. Like he's always a dickhead. Even if he's getting picked on and somebody's being meaner to him, he's still responding in that degree. So would he have even appreciated Kathy? I don't know. Is this the only way he ever could love Kathy? I don't know. Like is when she's 6 feet into the ground and when their bodies can't do anything anymore and they could be buried in threes, I guess, with Edgar Linton. And like, is that the only way? Now, women love this book because, again, the torturing a man from beyond the grave with like his yearning and love. I mean, it's Dracula. It's the reason they like Dracula.
Yeah.
This Heathcliff is Dracula, but instead of Dracula, he's like, you know, Dracula is just like, I want this woman, and you know, he's actually playing with the supernatural part of the dead, where Heathcliff is just like, no, I accept the way reality works, and we're really grounded in the way this works. So he is Dracula from another angle, from like a hyper materialist, like less paranormal angle, and it's like almost scarier in my opinion.
Yeah, and much because it's much more realistic in that way, you know. And I think we can all think of examples of other people in our own lives of like becoming Heathcliff. He's almost an archetype, so to speak, where it's like, I'm like, oh yeah, I've been that down bad where I just, I want to ruin everyone else's fun, you know? That's part of the joy of cynicism. It's like you study so much just to go ruin everyone else's fun.
Yeah, and then we know those people with main character syndrome, where like anybody they talk to is a side character, is an NPC, and like they're only there to bounce ideas off of, to just see what you should do for the day. They have no interest in what you're doing. They have
Catherine's got that huge.
Yeah,
like,
Catherine's got it. Yeah,
it,
Catherine's got it, and Heathcliff's got it. And again, I don't know if it would have worked. To be quite honest, I don't know if that works a lot of times. But
really
Heathcliff is actually lucky. Heathcliff's kind of lucky she died. I'm gonna be honest. Like he's kind of lucky she died. Obviously, it tortures him forever. But like, what if she ran off on him at some point? Like then it turns
kind
into
of that like idea of like love that like it's like a selfish kind of love, I guess they share, where it's at the end of the day, the only thing it signifies is themselves,
right?
And like what they get out of it. Maybe I'm being again too cynical, but
the hearts never converge. Like it's just two full hearts, but they never actually converge, kind of thing. Like that's how you would feel about it. It's like I'm satisfied, you're satisfied, but it's like this kind of mutually exclusive thing.
Earlier, you mentioned the way the book is written is evidence of some kind of reading or interpretation of the book, especially of Heathcliff. If I understood you correctly. And I think Lockwood is such a great character.
Yes.
Who's pretty much the narrator of the whole book. He is the, what's the word? Prime mover. He's like the cause of the whole book being written because he's asking all those questions about Heathcliff. And he's in dialogue with Nellie. But Lockwood, I don't know. I think one thing I completely forgot as soon as I read the book, and then I started re-listening to it on audiobook, was the dream sequence at the beginning. I was like, I completely forgotten about this part.
Lockwood's dream sequence.
Lockwood's dream.
Yes. Wow.
Being in a chapel and the chapel gets mentioned a lot. The chapel is a character that no one talks about either, but it's this abandoned chapel that everyone in the area would have gone to. But during Lockwood's day, he's visiting and it's abandoned. And yet when he's visiting Heathcliff in Wuthering Heights, he has to stay the night because of a storm. This is right at the beginning of the book, but he has a dream where he's in the chapel.
That's right.
Listening to 490 sermons on forgiveness, I think.
Yes.
But the pastor is so boring and monotonous and terrible at his sermoning that Mr. Lockwood in the dream has to tell the pastor, and it says, you're actually committing the greatest sin, the 491st sin, which is they don't really explain what that is, but I think it's being bad at, I don't know, being bad, unkind to your neighbor, really, which is what the pastor. Anyway, and so everyone in the chapel beats him up, and he wakes up from the nightmare. But I loved it because it's all about that aspect of forgiveness and loving your neighbor. Because the 490 sermons on forgiveness is based off that passage in Matthew, I think, where Jesus says you have to forgive your brother 70 times 7. Do you know that one? There's a passage in the Gospel.
I'm so bad. I do. I'm so bad at math that I didn't even make the correlation. I was like, 70 times 7, that's a million. I don't. That's way more than 400.
Well, I mean, it may as well be. That's how some people interpret it. Like Jesus just picks a random big number because
that's a good point. I like
these fishermen can't get. And I think that's again, I would argue that's an important part of the book that at least I feel like a lot of people don't really talk about or pick up on.
Yes, because
I'm like, there's so much in this entire book that could have been resolved through forgiveness. Like Nellie's the only one who's really able to forget, and Edgar.
But again, I am somebody who thinks you cannot be like a hyper materialist without any sort of like spirituality. I don't think you can do true forgiveness. Like I think you can like do forgiveness as a fire blanket to kind of go like, okay, let's stop talking about this. You know, like I think you can do that. I just don't think it's there. I don't think it's there because I again, people might disagree with that. I whatever. I haven't really seen it implemented in that way. Like, because for you to learn forgiveness is for you. It's not for the person. Like I've always said this for like it's for you to not have this linger. You know, you might still think about it here and there, but like God's forgiveness is what matters to that person. It's not your. I mean, because I've forgiven your business. Because I've forgiven people that I never want to speak to again. So we're not. I forgive you for what you do. We're never going to speak again. So there's no preservation of any relationship or anything. You need to seek other forgiveness for what you did through a higher power. Like that's what you need to do. But these people, this book being so hyper materialist to where the only actual Christian to like outward open Christian in the book is Joseph kind of babbling in a corner drinking like sour porridge, and like that's kind of, he's like this Willem Dafoe ass like Robert Eggers guy, like in this, like he would definitely be played by Willem Dafoe in a Robert Eggers Wuthering Heights. Absolutely.
And again, like I would argue, and I think even Joseph's, like no one listens to his babblings, like no one.
Right. Yeah.
He's like a broken record. It's like, again, it's just he may as well be the same televangelist that everyone like rolls their eyes at.
She sucks the God out of the room. Like Emily Brontë just vacuum seals it, purges it. You know what I mean? Like turning weed into wax. And, you know.
I like the way you describe forgiveness, because you mentioned the idea of the prolonging relationship you can get if you don't forgive, if you fail to forgive someone. Which I mean, you could almost reword it as a haunting. Like that's psychologically, like we all get haunted by past traumas and things like that. People that we fail to forgive. I don't know.
Yeah. And
that's that's my pop psychology.
Well, even in death, there's a stage of grief that's anger and like you wronged me by leaving me in this world, which Heathcliff's clearly feeling that. Like and like he's clearly feeling that, and the whole "I want you to haunt me" thing is this kind of like the forgiveness isn't there, and I don't think you need. I'm not suggesting that if anyone in your life dies that you're to forgive them, but there is this natural quality to where like you can just operate in life to where you need to kind of accept that. It's forgiveness through acceptance in terms of death, which Heathcliff never accepts, despite seeing her body in the ground. He sees her body in the ground. He's looked at it. He's like, that's a dead person in the ground. Like that is my.
But he thinks that's Catherine.
He thinks he's like, she's alive. She's
like
chilling.
That's just a person. Like
she's chilling. She's trying to get away from everybody because everyone's annoying, and she's chilling in the ground. And like it's this lack of forgiveness. I mean, that there is this and I don't know. Emily Brontë might be an atheist for all I know, or whatever it is. It's not even about that. It's just the functionality of like the babbling preacher is like not just this silly character that you laugh at or cast away to the side. Like it is this idea of like, we're not doing Christian forgiveness here. Like we're not doing this is clearly like you wronged me and I need your presence in my life all the time after you've wronged me by leaving me. And this is just narcissism in its finest form, is how dare you go do something other than be with me? How dare life life happen to you? How dare this, right? Like I have a form of narcissism of myself. Like I think it's a form of narcissism where it's like when I die, I'm scared of somebody else not being able to move on. Like I'm scared, not move on, but it's like I would like. Did you ever play The Sims, like the old school Sims games back in the day?
Oh yeah. Sims.
Where like, did you ever have somebody die in The Sims?
No.
It's really scary. Like, so what happens is like in The Sims, if somebody dies, like, because I was killing.
Doesn't the Grim Reaper show up? I think I see it.
Yeah, the Grim Reaper shows up. Like I've seen somebody drown in a pool. It's fucked up. Like they used to kill people in The Sims. Yeah, and so I know people are gonna say, "Oh, Glenn, you made fun of Roller Coaster Tycoon and SimCity." Right. Sims, I stopped playing after this because somebody died, and like what happens is their urn just like chills in the house. And it's like on the table, and the person walks by every 5 minutes. You can't do a simple task without walking by that urn and just stopping forever. And you cry for like an uncontrollably long time. And it's this like, it's really, this is like the old school side. I don't know, maybe that's not the case with the newer ones or anything. But it scared me because I was thinking like because I'm looking at that from the computer and I'm like, what if that's hell, like to me, you know, like what if that's a hell in a way where I have to watch that person grieve for the rest of my life? You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's like, I don't know, how would Freud or Jung, it's not really, it's not my, what I'm trying to get at here, but it's kind of this, like, he almost feels like Kathy's watching him grieve, which it's like, but then he also doesn't really believe in that. So it's like this like constant like torture. I don't know.
There's like interesting. There's and I don't want to like rationalize the book too much because I think the book does a good job of dodging, those that like a person's attempts at rationalize, especially all the like the ghosts and the haunting scenes in it. I think they present it to us as pretty real. Like even
I love it. I know. I love it.
The ghost. But like that being said, I do wonder if Heathcliff's like it's because of his obsession. His love for Kathy. Like, it's what's interesting is Kathy's the only one who admits to having a soul. I think.
Whoa.
I could be wrong. I might be wrong on that.
No,
but
I don't think you are.
If Heathcliff's the materialist, then it's like it's the poetic irony that she dies and he's the one left mourning her, but he has no sense of there's nothing to overcome that mourning. And I'm not saying the transcendent is like, it's more than just therapy too, but I mean it should perform the function of therapy. Like that's how you know you have a good spirituality. I don't think spirituality is worth it. I
think so. I just wish I could have given Heathcliff some Rishi or something, man. I was like, hey, let's go have some pint. Let's go have a pint, dude. Like, you need a beer. Let's go just chill for a little bit. Like,
get out of the morgues, man.
That's I know. But again, to want to torture yourself, you know, he wants the torture. He wants it all. He wants to inflict it. He wants to, but in his mind, he's gone through it more than anybody ever could, you know, and I don't think that's true, but I believe that he believes it.
Did Heathcliff or the book in general like remind you or make you think of other characters?
I mean, really Dracula, really Dracula, because he needed to be released from that, and he did get released from that when in his like death, when he dies in like a really peaceful way, like where Nellie goes in. And I haven't actually read the book Dracula. I'm familiar with the story, and it's been told many times, and I keep telling everybody the new Dracula is awesome. I love it. Like,
it was really fun. I loved it.
I loved that movie. Very breath of fresh air in that. It was very Christian. It was like a Christian Dracula. It was awesome,
dude. It was hard watching the new Wuthering Heights after just watched Dracula as well. Like these two movies back to back, it's crazy. And I'm like, what's happening right now?
And everyone hates like Luc Besson. He's kind of, you know, there's some thing like he's kind of a canceled like director. But if that ever hits like a popular streaming platform, I think it's going to get a second life for sure. Because like I just thought that was like really good. And I had read Wuthering Heights like while we went and watched that. I was like reading it, and I was just like, there is and again, it taps into like female fantasy. Like there's nothing hotter to a woman than like a sensitive guy because like Dracula in that movie, he's like doing like John Wick killing moves and stuff, so he's like badass and stuff. Like there's like John Wick scenes that are so cool. I was like, this is awesome. Like I was like, why isn't all Dracula like this? And so it's like he's like doing all that stuff. So like for women, it's just like, and he's like kind of ugly but like swagged out. So you're like, damn, this is like sick, you know. Like I get like women love that, like in a guy where it's like he's unique looking but he's like cool as hell, he's like dripping in fragrance and all these things,
and he's like sensitive, like women love a guy who knows what he wants.
He can turn it on and off.
Like Heathcliff knows exactly what he wants in life. There's never a moment where he's like, oh, I don't know, you know. Dracula's never like, oh, I don't know what I want,
right? It's very
easy. These guys are like,
everybody else is dancing around what they want, and Heathcliff sees them as marks in that degree. Like just kind of like, you don't know what you want. Well, I know, and I know what you want too. I can tell what you want, and I'm going to set that up for you like a Looney Tunes trap.
The manipulation in the novel in Wuthering Heights is like so contemporary. I felt like it's like this, like the Heathcliff level of brainwashing, where it's like, oh, you want, I don't know. He's like, I know you're going to get forbidden to do this thing. You're going to get told by Nellie not to go to the house, not to go visit these people. So he's like, I'm just going to set it up in a way where, like, you're still going to, like, I'm going to convince you that disobeying Nellie is the right thing to do. You know, it's like crazy, weird brainwashing, next level stuff.
Yeah, it's like programming. It's programming. Like it's like, you know, you can have the marionette like and have your hands on it, but like it's actually more convenient for you to look like your hands are off it, kind of. Yeah, you know, like, and that's kind of how Heathcliff is. Like, well, that's, you did that. What do you? I knew you would do it, but you still did it.
That's my favorite part of the book was like him. I'm like, he's on paper, he's so innocent. Yeah, everyone is doing it to themselves. Like.
It's like Max Kate. It's like, I'm telling you, it's like Cape Fear. I rewatched Cape Fear recently. Like he does some bad stuff, but he knows the law so well that like he's just like, I haven't done anything. I'm just showing up outside your house. Like I'm not like your dog died. Oh, that's sad. I have no idea. I know your dog's name and how big he is, but I didn't do anything. Like, you know, he's like, and it's the gaslighting, it's all that stuff and all the terms that you hear nowadays. But the Heathcliff is so good at it, and like I mean, again, I didn't come out of the book saying I love Heathcliff, but I found him to be this unbelievable character that I will never forget. Like where you just, like to me, Kathy, it's funny, in East of Eden, Kathy is the villain of that. And she is, to the degree, like it's not Wuthering Heights, it's just some prostitute named Kathy. But like she's just so like, whoa, like this is just an irredeemable, like I grew up loving villains, and like I liked Jafar in Aladdin. But what was really funny was when my parents took me to Disneyland and Jafar was like walking around, I got scared and cried. But I loved him. I was like, he's the man. Like it was the man. But I that's classic me. I don't think I could be a villain, but I kind of think they're cool. Like I've always loved like Darth Vader, like just stuff like that. I'm like, that's cool to me. Like that's fun. And so
it's like guys who get what they want. Like
it's
like it's being able to just get whatever you want. I guess.
The room when they walk in, everybody's tone changes. Like it's just it becomes the tension builds and everything. And but Kathy in East of Eden is like very much this like Heathcliff level. Now it's also kind of this other thing where it's like Kathy, like it's been a while since I've read East of Eden, but I was just like, I don't really like know what she's gonna get out of all of it. Like she's not really, it's not something I'd want. There's some villains where you're like, okay, I'd want that, but there's a better way to get it or a more ethical way to get it or something. But sometimes you just go, that is not what I would want, but you are so invested. The juice
only a novel.
The juice doesn't seem worth the squeeze. I don't know. I think I know some real people like this where I'm like, like you ever meet somebody at work where it's easier, they spend so much time not doing their job and trying to dance around getting caught not doing their job and trying to like schmooze their way through the day, trying to make sure and it's like, really like it would probably be easier for you to just like do 8 hours of work today. Like to just do 8 hours of work would probably require less energy than what you're doing.
Or like, especially when it's like that sense of superiority. I'm like, you can do it for one day. Just work the same work that we're all doing.
I know.
Of course, you get your boss, you get paid more, but like, don't just stand around pretending you're like doing something important because you're on your phone. Like,
or the boss that does your job for 10 seconds to show you how it's done, and he does it like perfectly to code. And you're like, okay, do that for 8 hours, asshole. But that one's always really funny. But like, I just kind of like to me, like it's just kind of that to me is like the perfect villain when like I see their motivation, but it's like why? Yes, there's no mystery in what you want, but it's more so like, is that worth it? And why are you trying so hard? That's scary to me. Like that's just really scary.
That's a really good point.
It's like a gambler's mentality in a sense, like just kind of this like, I don't think it's gonna work the way you think it's gonna work. Because even if Heathcliff like really doesn't, like everything works out in his favor, like everything, like in terms of every scheme he does, he doesn't. It's he's
still unhappy by the end, right?
Exactly. Like everything works. Everything works. It works to a T, exactly how it was supposed to, how it was drawn up. It's the perfect play call, like in a sports game where you're just like, oh, got it exactly, had him exactly where I wanted to, and we hit him, and it was just perfect. And then you're just like, okay, so now what? Oh, I'm sad and I hate myself, or I hate my life and I hate myself. I'm sad and I hate my life and I'll never be happy again. Anyways, tomorrow I'm going to do the exact same thing again. It's going to be sick, like, crazy, I mean, I love it. I just, to me, like, I know I can understand this won't be everyone's cup of tea. Like this won't be like, if you're looking for like a beautiful, like they kiss on the mountain at the end of the book, which I think a lot of people think they do. Like people just think, oh, it's a Victorian love story. It's going to be horrible and scary, but at the end they're going to kiss on top of the moors and it's going to be great. Or like, there's going to be some kind of like embracing of like a spirit or something or whatever. It's not going to be for you, but I had a blast reading. I read it in like 8 days. I was glued to it. I had a blast. And I'm not that type of person. It was fun. But I'm the type of person that likes watching it. That's what I found out. I'm a voyeur for these types of things. Hitchcock, like a little Hitchcock person in like a little Alfred Hitchcock character. Like, Jimmy Stewart, Rear Window. He's not going to do any of that shit. He's not going to do any of that stuff that he's watching in the window, but he's like, hey, while I'm here,
I'm watching. Well,
that's how I am.
Good point.
But it indicts him. But he's indicted in that movie. Like it's they kind of say like, yeah, but you watched all of it. You know what I'm saying? Like and that's why I think like the reader, it's okay to indict yourself a little bit on this. It's okay to admit that like I'm a little piece of shit too for reading this.
Oh yeah, I think so. I think it's kind of the purpose
it's fun.
of
I think it's fun.
Good novels do. Yeah,
I do. I just, instead of justifying it from like oh, well, this is just about yearning and all that. It's about cruelty. It's about cruelty.
Yeah.
It's about how nasty people can be. And it's, I think we tapped on something there when there is just zero presence of God in this thing, and nobody's has to answer to any of that.
Yeah, like you're isolated, both like in this, like in the farmhouse.
Yeah.
I like what you point out at the very beginning. You're like, oh, there's no mention of a king or the monarchy, no current times. It's very, it's almost metaphorical. Like this is like story
mythology.
Like
it feels like mythology to me.
Yeah.
It feels like mythology to me. It was how this book reminded, almost like
Genesis level. Yeah, like I guess you said it used to be
Jobian,
the lineage of Cain just killing each other all the time.
Right. Yeah, Jobian in a sense. Like what if Job fought back? You know what I mean? Like just kind of, even though I don't think Heathcliff goes through nearly anything that Job goes through, but he believes he did. So it's just kind of this, it's I mean, he would argue that it went through worse, because you don't love the way I love Catherine, and it's just it's tough, man. It's a I loved it. Not everybody's gonna take to it, I don't think. I think I've seen a lot of people trashing the book on just because it's popular to do right now, and you have every right to do that. But I think if you're like me and you cast it off to Jane Austen, into the Jane Austen ghetto, it's not.
You're missing out if you do that.
It's worth a read, man. Was the audiobook good? Like, did they put it? Was it like high production? Like, because a lot of times the classics get like fucking Hugh Grant.
Not this one. No, it was like a freebie. I think it was just some lady doing the reading. She was doing all the voices.
I bet you there's like and then we have Brendan Gleeson as Joseph, or I bet.
I don't like it when they have multiple actors.
Yeah, it's sometimes a little overblown. Yeah.
Personally, I'd like so you should check out the side note, the Lemony Snicket audiobooks, because Tim Curry does all the. Yeah, there's one with just Tim Curry, and it's really fun because he's so crazy and campy, and
I know, really, and those are so fun. I was just thinking about, like, I don't know. I don't think anybody's gonna really give a shit to hear about me talking about Lemony Snicket. Maybe you might, but like a couple other people, like, I don't think anyone's gonna care. But I was like, those books were fun, and I loved the uneven. I remember the copies of them, the pages, uneven pages. Oh, uneven cut.
That was the first time I ever saw that, dude.
Yeah, I thought it was like the first time that ever happened. Oh, I was like, obviously it didn't, but I just, as a kid, I was like, has anyone ever done this? Like, this is so cool. And you realize it's just a pastiche of like all of these kind of Victorian kind of nightmare, parents are dead, loved our parents, and now we're, David Copperfield's very much like it as well. And you, I loved those books. Like I never could quite get into any of the adaptations of them like I wanted to. That last Netflix one, it started out hot, and I was like, nah, I don't know. It just didn't work. The Jim Carrey one does not good to me personally. Okay. As Olaf, I tried.
Good soundtrack though. I think it's not Danny Elfman. I was going to say it was Danny Elfman as well. But
Elfman did the Dracula.
Yeah. I was going to make that connection.
That was the bad. I talked about it on here, and I'll just say it again. You guys need to go see that movie. Like, go see it in theater. It's awesome because. Guess what, man? I love Trent Reznor to death, but I don't need one note. I don't need that.
The high pitched squealing in the back.
No, this was big, like violence. Bernard Herrmann, Alfred Hitchcock. Dun 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 dun. It didn't delve into
so sincere. It didn't have.
Yeah,
it
didn't delve into typo negative. Like, it didn't turn into like fucking Christian Woman, which I like all that stuff. But like, it didn't turn into that. It kept you in that. It just wrapped you up in a blanket of that movie and that thing. Oh gosh, that was so good. So, Ben, I really appreciate this, man, because this was one of the least amount of time I've ever given anybody on this, on Gain of Fiction. I was like, guys, I got to do this. I got to strike while the iron's hot. My scheming Patty hands were going here, and I just so I appreciate you doing that, because I usually give people months to read these things. Okay, and I was like 2 weeks. Yeah, it was like not even 2 weeks, actually.
Yeah, I felt that. I was like, I don't know who's going to be ready.
It would have just been me. It would have just been me, but I wouldn't have even got to half the things that that we brought up. That's why it's nice here. So you don't have like a huge social media presence, at least that I'm privy to. Is there anything you want to promote? Is there anything to tell anybody about, or
no, not really, not yet. Sorry.
No, well, okay.
I'll drop it in the chat if I do.
Yeah, for sure. The Canadians get really territorial.
I also have my own hands rubbing.
Yeah.
I'm scheming something as well.
Scheming maple leaf. If you are,
Wait
no,
for
but
the
then
economy to boost.
the Canadians in the chat. The Canadians in the chat get really excited when there's another Canadian on. So I think that'll happen. So well, that's fine. That's less links for me to put in the description. So that's just wonderful. Coming up, going to be doing what are we doing? Oh, Roberto Bolaño 2666. That's going to be I'm at the part that everybody is at, and they say what the hell in that book, and I'm there right now. Oh gosh.
Okay.
Oh, great book.
Yeah.
Have you read that?
No. What's that one?
It's Roberto Bolaño is good. He's like a weird. If you know stuff about like Marxism, you'll probably like his stuff even more than I do. I don't like, but he's. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think about like communism when I read his books. I've read 2. This is the second one I've read. I read a book called By Night in Chile, which was really good. Very like stream of consciousness, like sparse prose. Whereas like this 2666 is like 5. It's like an anthology of like 5 parts, and it's goes from like 3 or 4 like literary critics trying to find this author that no one's ever seen before is like the first part. Second part is like this black guy who's going down to Mexico to cover boxing, but he writes for like a kind of like a soul brother, like Fight the Power magazine. But then he's down there and he sees things, like a lot more stuff going on down here than I thought. Then part 3 is literally just horrible woman murders, like disgusting, visceral woman murders, like in there, and that's where I'm at right now. But I think it's pretty masterful, like what's happened there. So I highly recommend that. We'll be doing that in like a couple parts on here. So that's what's to come on here. I think we're gonna do The Handmaid's Tale at some point, and then Oil by Upton Sinclair.
That's a Canadian author. Is that Atwood?
Is Atwood Canadian? I thought she was
Margaret Atwood.
I don't know.
I don't. Canadian. No, she's Canadian.
Oh, nice, cool.
Is that right?
Yeah. I thought you were saying Upton Sinclair. I was like, no, Upton Sinclair is not Canadian. He's Californian.
I don't want to sound too excited about it. I've never read Atwood.
She is. That's Margaret Thatcher. That is a completely different person. Margaret Atwood. Canadian writer. Good call. Yeah. I've never heard her speak before.
They talk about her all the time in Canada. She's like on all the magazines all the time.
I've heard she's good. I've heard she's really good. Like I've heard the hype is good, and I want to really it's like when people like, when you hear like libs talk about like shit like The Handmaid's Tale, I'm like, okay, what is that then? Let me because I'd love to. I have a like little male fantasy. It's like, well, I've read the thing that you're trying to compare that to, and and maybe it is.
I'm the same way. I'm like, okay, I hate reputation of things that things get, and they do affect my judgments, but I'm always like, I should at least try and like give it a shot. Yeah.
I went into Wuthering Heights going like, Heathcliff's probably sick. Heathcliff's probably cool. These women are hating. I was like, he's probably so tight. And then I'm like, nah, they were right. He's an asshole. But yeah, it's like, I was like, but I went in thinking like, I'm going to have the completely different Wuthering Heights state, which I think we kind of did. But it's, or at least expanded on it in a different way, but not in the way that I thought we were going to. So Ben, thank you so much.
What would you think we were going? If I could.
Not where we were going. I just mean like you brought up some things that I didn't even think about, and they make a lot of sense. You know what I mean? Though I still am thinking about like how Mr. Lockwood validates Nellie's narrative and all that stuff. I'm like, wow, I would have never thought of that. That's what I mean. That's why I like. If I talked about this book by myself, it would have just been me saying the same thing fucking 40 times over about this part that I loved. So that's the way it is. Ben, thank you so much for doing this. Really appreciate it. And on that note, guys, everybody have a safe week, and we'll catch you guys next time.